Hello there. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and thank God you've made it to another day. And so I think very soon we shall be hearing Christmas carol, because really the month of October is nearly done just tomorrow, and we shall be done with the month of October in the year 2025. We thank God for how much and how far He has brought us. But welcome again to the best breakfast show on television. We call it the AM show. I hope it's not the first time you're tuning in. But if it's the first time, of course, welcome to the best of the best. And as usual on the show this morning, we shall bring you the AM news. Denisa is on standby. Of course, we shall bring you some sports as well and on the show. And for news review this morning, we shall get into our big stories where we delve into matters arising from the Lightwave Health Information Management System LHIMS contract. The Health Minister, Kwabena says an audit into the $100 million deal with Lightwave eHealth Solutions has been referred to the Attorney General for advice. Now, the company was to digitize health data across 950 facilities, but covered less than half despite receiving over 70% of the contract sum. The government has since rolled out a new system, the Ghana Health Information Management System, to take over national health data management. Of course, we shall go into the nuances of that impasse. But also, the minority in Parliament has filed a motion to halt the vetting of Chief Justice nominee, Justice Paul Bafoboni, pending the resolution of ongoing legal challenges involving the removed Chief Justice. Of course, another very important topic. These and more coming up on the review segment today on the show. And joining us today is Dr. Joshua Zato, political scientist. Nana Yao Sapon, he is Deputy General Secretary for the newly formed party, United Party, Kujopoku Executive Director for Institute for Energy Security, and also member of the NPP Communications. And also Rashid Tanko Computer, he's Chief Executive Officer, Govt, and Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. You want to stay with us because, of course, it's definitely a packed show on the AM show. And I'm doing this with the Hunter Pele, who will be joining me a little later. So thank you for choosing us always, but please stay for the news.
Hello, good morning, and welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denisia Pomai-J. In our very first story, the Ministry of Health has sent the $100 million Lightwave Health contract to the Attorney General for review. So despite full payments, the system reached only 450 out of 950 health facilities. Health Minister Kwabena has launched a new platform to manage health data nationwide. The move has raised serious questions about accountability and public spending in Ghana's health sector. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba has more in the following report.
The Lightwave Health Information Management System was introduced to digitize patient records and improve hospital efficiency, but has recently suffered nationwide disruptions, forcing some hospitals to revert to manual record keeping. The National Health Insurance Authority has also expressed concern about system downtimes affecting patient services. The minister accused the company behind the Lightwave Health Information Management System of blackmail and underperformance.
Again, I have stated that the contract sum was $100 million. At the end of 31st December 2024, although 450 out of the 950 had been connected, the vendor had been paid about $77 million. Clearly, more than 70% of the total amount had been paid. And less than 50% of the work has been done. At that point, we had to refer everything to the AG and the appropriate quarters, including the security, for advice and appropriate action. We cannot expunge those clauses from the agreement because it is the states that must take charge of these data. So the vendor decided to switch the system of as and when he desires and as and when he demands what. And this has gone on for some time now, more than 2 months. And for the past 2 weeks or so, the system has been completely down. If this is not blackmailing, I don't know what it is.
Many have asked about the cost of the new Ghana Health Information Management System, LHIMS. The Minister, Kwabena Kando, assured that it will not be built from scratch, but rather on existing infrastructure, emphasizing that the cost will be half of what the previous project was, ensuring value for money.
New contract, how much? When we went through and let me make the point that we are not starting everything afresh. It is only the software we are dealing with. The software and how we can own the software, the integration, and the middleware. That's what we are dealing with. So we are building on the infrastructure. The infrastructure has already been established. And so we are not going to go back to buy new laptops and what have you. So where we are, when you look at the details of the contract, how much it costs the state to do what we are going to do, we are going to use half. We are going to use half of what they use to do what we are going to do. So I can assure you that there's value for money.
The minister says the country should be out of what he describes as a mess in 4 weeks and that the system will no longer be monopolized.
Now away from health, but still on sanitation and health-related issues, several traders arrested at the Agbogloshi market are expected to be arraigned after defined sanitation laws. So the arrest follows a suit by members of the Clean Ghana Task Force who stormed the market's declared traders operating under filthy and unhygienic conditions. Director of the Clean Ghana campaign, Florence Kuchi, insists the task force will not relent until sanity is fully restored in all major markets across Accra. Stephen Mensah has the rest of the story.
About a week ago, the traders here at the Bloshi market were given a clear directive to pack up and stop trading under non-hygienic conditions. But today, the same scenes play out again.
We don't have anywhere to sell. When they distributed the shares, we didn't get any. They told us that to get one, we'd have to pay, something we simply can't afford. Before God and man, I'm a minor and I also have a child. How much can I possibly earn to feed myself and my child?
At the site of the Clean Ghana Task Force, the traders bolted, running away from arrest.
We can't stay at home doing nothing. The sheds here are also too small, so we can't even share space with others. When we go hawking, we find a convenient spot to rest. We're only pleading if we're given a proper place to sit. We won't sell along the gutters.
Director for the Clean Ghana campaign team, Florence Kuchi, says they will not relent in ensuring that sanity is restored in the market.
Believe you me, if I remove this pallet, you will see rotten yam inside the drain. They trade and then they push in the waste of the trade inside the drain and cover it up. In order not to leave it and go for them to come, we are carrying the things away. If we cannot arrest human beings, we'll arrest the product. The human being will follow the product and come.
On the part of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, officials are urging the media to play a stronger role in ensuring that the campaign is sustained.
You have the media asking questions, moving them from the streets. Where are we going to put them? Of course, the streets are not for selling, and that is what we want the media to move away from, so that together we'll be able to deal with the issues. There are empty spaces all over in the markets. We went to the tomato sellers and you saw the empty spaces there. I have a couple of them. If you move into the market, there are empty spaces there. They know they are not supposed to deal with it. But for us as an assembly, just as the Mayor, Honorable Michael Pakwalote, has said, enforcement is going to be key, and we are going to intensify enforcement.
For now, the Clean Ghana campaign team says it will ensure that sanity is restored in the market. Stephen Mensah, Joy News at Dobloshi.
And still on sanitation, waste collection in parts of Accra and other major cities could come to a standstill from November 7 as members of the Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA, threatened to suspend operations over delayed payments. With over 10,000 members and 67 former waste contractors, the association says the situation has become unbearable, warning that the strike could worsen sanitation challenges if the government fails to respond. Ama Entry is the executive secretary for the association.
ESPA has engaged with the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, as well as all relevant parliamentary select committees to facilitate payment of our members. Unfortunately, these efforts have yielded little progress. However, we call on the government to, as a matter of urgency, make payments to avoid a shutdown by the 7th November 2025. We therefore appeal to the government for the immediate release of outstanding payments owed to all waste management contractors by the 7th of November 2025. Without this intervention, service providers may be forced to suspend operations nationwide.
The association is also demanding the construction of more landfill sites and the introduction of the sanitation levy to aid in addressing sanitation concerns in the country.
Current fee structures are unprofitable and do not reflect the real cost of operations. Metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies should adopt full cost recovery rates that cover operational expenses, maintenance, and other relevant costs whilst balancing social needs. We respectfully seek government intervention with the issues mentioned above. ESPA regrets to caution that several landfills and treatment facilities across the country may face imminent shutdown. Such closures would disrupt waste collection services.
Well, let's stay a while longer on health. The president of the Association of Health Service Administrators Ghana, Reverend Ezekiel Amadou Daribi, has called on hospital administrators to adopt innovative strategies for mobilizing and managing internally generated funds to enhance the sustainability of healthcare facilities nationwide. Speaking at the association's 48th annual conference and continuing education program in Cape Coast, Reverend Daribi underscored that prudent management of finances, infrastructure, and also human capital is critical to ensuring operational efficiency and long-term institutional growth.
It should not be thinking about the financial mobilizations alone, but about your ability to manage the little that come and be transparent.
The 48th Annual Conference and Continuing Professional Education Program of the Association of Health Service Administrators Ghana, ASAG, provided a platform for professional engagement and strategic dialogue. Speaking at the conference, the Central Regional Director of Health Service, Dr. Alberte Jabin-Brichum Nyakon, described the 2025 theme as an urgent call to action.
All of us have experienced the fact that GOG for goods and services as well as CAPEX is very, very inadequate. And the government has so far not been able to fulfill the Abuja Declaration of ensuring that at least 15% of government budget is allocated to health. If you look at the past 10 years, you would see that we are always hovering between 6% and 7%. The highest we have done was 9.9%. And that was actually a knee-jerk reaction. So we really, really need more support from government, but it is not coming because they are also tight. So that is why we have this theme. What can we do about it?
The president of ASAG, Reverend Ezekiel Amadou Daribi urged the administrators to efficiently mobilize internally generated funds to facilitate the growth of health institutions.
In Ghana's health sector, government subvention and donor funding are not enough. And for this reason, the sustainability of our hospitals increasingly depends on how well we mobilize internally generated funds and manage them responsibly. But we must also broaden our view. Internal resources are not limited to finances.
Now, moving on to other stories, the Ghana Tourism Federation has elected a new executive council to steer the affairs of the private sector wing of Ghana's tourism industry. The election held at the Coconut Grove Hotel in Accra brought together key players from the hospitality, leisure, and also the tourism sectors.
Formed in 1995, the Ghana Tourism Federation (Govt) represents more than 25 trade associations, including hotels, restaurants, caterers, tour operators, and tour guides. The Federation plays a central role in mobilizing the private sector and contributes 1% of industry earnings to the National Tourism Fund, which supports training and promotion. As the Federation elects new leaders to steer its affairs, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture says the elections reflect unity and continuity within Ghana's tourism ecosystem. Speaking on behalf of the Tourism Minister, Director of Policy Planning, Budgeting, Monitoring and Evaluation, Dr. Alphonse Kumaza reaffirmed government's commitment to deepening collaboration with Govt.
Govt occupies a central place in Ghana's tourism ecosystem as the umbrella body for trade association across our tourism, culture, and creative arts sector. Your leadership, advocacy, and collaboration with the ministry and its agencies continue to shape the path of our sector.
After the ballots were counted, Seth Yeboah Okran emerged as the new president of Govt. He promised to focus his administration on 4 key pillars: environmental protection, customer service certification, cultural preservation, and security for the tourism sector.
And I'm happy to be the president-elect of Ghana Tourism Federation. 4 key pillars that I want my administration to tackle. One of them has to do with the plastics. We find the single-use plastics everywhere. In producing paper bags, carrier bags, to replace that. When that happens, our environment will be clean, our beaches will be clean. The second thing that is dear to my heart also is customer service. What I intend to do is that we have to have what I call tourism brigade in all the 261 districts. That generates 26,100 jobs. That thing also that is dear to my heart is also going to work with the Media Commission, Ghana Journalists Association.
Now, he learnt farming from his father, and it has since become his passion. Today, the Upper West Regional Minister Charles Luwangwa Pouzin owns over 1,500 acres of maize and soybean farms at Danyaukura under the Sungumu Farms and General Trading, where he also rears cattle and sheep. Despite his busy schedule, he makes time on weekends to visit his plantation. In an exclusive interview with Joy News' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam, he urged Ghanaians, especially the youth, to take advantage of the Feed Ghana program to venture into farming and improve their livelihoods.
Before the discovery of large deposits of gold at Danyaukura in the Wise district, the enclave was famous for farming. Thousands of hectares, year in, year out, has always been cultivated for farming, producing several tons of cereals, leguminous crops, and tubers of yam. The high fertility rate of the land, coupled with the conducive and serene environment, attracted many to gravitate towards the community for farming. Before he assumed the position of the Upper West Regional Minister, Charles Luwangwa Pouzin combined his law practice with his father's favorite pastime, farming.
I say that my father used to be with National Reconstruction, which was a government initiative that dealt with farmers and farm inputs, tractors and all that. So as a young man, I started operating a tractor. So obviously, I knew that farm was good because we went to farm. Even though those days we thought it was punishment, that you should go to the farm and because it was whole and cutlass. But as time went on, I realized that one needed to find some other vocation apart from being a lawyer. And then I chose to do farm.
Paddling with him to achieve the dream is his childhood friend at WW Low Cost, Ben Boru, who manages the farm.
We have been true to each other. Anything I ask for, and he have his support. The salt, everything about the farm. So it's left with me to also manage to prove that it's a brother that can support, and we all put our heads together.
The total land size of the farm is 1,500 acres, but they barely are able to cultivate beyond 550 acres.
Currently, we have land size of about 1,500 acres, but we've been able to cultivate barely 550, of which the soya, in terms of what we did this year, and the maize. For the mangoes, they've been there, so it's not a new thing. We're just taking care of the mangoes.
Beyond the large acreage of maize are dozens of cattle and sheep.
These are made up of about 28 calves, that are the young ones, and then about 60 of the grown-up ones. And these are breeds that we've been bringing together over the period. It wasn't brought once.
Whenever you hear that sick tune, yeah, you know what time it is. After a 24-hour breather, the 2025 NSMQ roars back, and not with a soft start, but with what many have already christened the quarter-final of the year. A blockbuster lineup. Reigning champions in Fantipim School, their city rival at Disadel College, and 5-time champions Prempeh College, all in one ring. A true battle of giants. Pedigree versus revenge versus pride. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomayebwa has more.
It's a father and son rematch. Prempeh College versus Infantipim for a place in the semi-finals. Last year, Infantipim sent Prempeh packing at this very stage.
At the end of the contest, here are the final scores. Prempeh College has 53 points. Infantipim School has 56 points.
Can never eat it off and get satisfied.
But today, there is a third threat on the floor. At Disadel College, Boche's own city rival, and a school with no interest in playing third wheel at Disadel College has been loud since the day they dumped Sewa Nyako in the 1A stage and dropped the highest score yet, 82 points.
The highest scorer for today was at Disadel College. Yes! Infantipim also contested today. Yes. How many did they earn?
And somewhere else on the bracket, another voltage high clash awaits. 8-time champions Presec Legon face GSTS, plus the only surviving private school in the entire championship, Our Lady of Grace Senior High School.
For Presec, we feel that we have trained enough. We feel that we can do and still win their contest. So for now, we don't have any fear against them. We are just going to try and do our best on the stage.
St. Thomas Aquinas, the one-time champion, will also test Ghana National College and Mankrasu SHS in another high-pressure quarter-final.
We're going to make sure that we come back for the quarterfinals with a more vim and a more vigor.
And from the quarterfinals, the tone changes, not just on stage, but in leadership. This is the phase where Quest Mistress Professor Elsie Eva Kaufman takes over, guiding contests all the way to the finale. Her message to the schools ahead of today's clash is simple.
I want everyone to come here with the expectation that we expect fair competition, that we will be following the competition rules to the letter, to compete fairly and equitably.
And in just a matter of hours, one of these schools will punch their ticket to the semi-finals, and the other two will watch on as their title dreams end here. Who survives this giant clash and who exits the 2025 National Science of Maths Quiz? For Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Asma Yaboa.
Clash of the Titans indeed. Well, it's now time to hand over to the Ahanta Pele Sabo Kujubrace to bring us some business news.
Well, let's start the business update with what's happening on the currency market. President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Humphrey Ayim-Dake, has urged government to support local enterprises through procurement to reduce Ghana's dependence on imports. Speaking at the 14th Ghana Economic Forum 2025, he noted that the country's import reliance is hurting foreign exchange reserves and called for stronger investment in local industry.
Why won't government with its procurement power deliberately create such enterprises so that they could go to the stock exchange and raise cheap capital and invest into such enterprises? Unfortunately, once that is not being implemented, all that is happening is imported. That's why we are largely importing country, and it's affecting the forex. And therefore, when you're looking for enterprises to put in their money, are all agents, distributors, mixing companies, and you are not finding them. We need to be deliberate about creating enterprises and industry. So it's a big challenge. So the reset agenda must go beyond just the financial sector and total overhaul of government procurement. That's why we're excited to see the amendment in the PPA, the Public Procurement Act, to make one of the conditions is the margins of preference. They need to enforce it. So we have a pretty complex market with high tax-related issues.
Well, let's wrap up with the commodities market. That's all in Business Update. Back to you, Poma.
Thank you, Samuel Kujubrace. And that's all we have for you today on AM News. But don't forget, My Joy Online, your best bet if you want more news. My name is Denisia Pomaide. Up next is Sports with Haruna Mubarak. Enjoy the show.
Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak. We start with Ghana's Black Queens, who have yet another opportunity next year to make history by clinching the Women's Africa Cup of Nations title. The team came close in the last edition, but painfully had to settle for third place after losing on penalties to host nation Morocco. Nigeria were the eventual winners, extending their record to 10 titles in 13 editions. Now, Black Queens head coach Kimlas Bjorkegren still tips Nigeria as favorites, but believes Ghana are now close to matching the defending champions.
I mean, the quality in the team is really, really good. I think there is another level in the team. Also, if you're looking at the players, there are many players that are ready to take the next step. I think many of the players actually, even if they're playing abroad, I think many of them can play in stronger league, in better teams. So I'm looking forward to see more of those kind of moves. I'm happy when I see young players like Comfort and Nancy that they are going to Spain. That's a perfect step for them, in my opinion. So with that, that's gonna, what they're doing like day by day in the club team, that's gonna help us in the national team. As a group, you can see that we are improving and doing things better and better together. So it's a mix between what they are doing in the club team, but also what we are doing when we can spend time together.
You look at the history of the World Cup and you talk about the fact that Nigeria have won the most as far as this tournament is concerned. How do we bridge that gap between, I mean, not necessarily matching the number of titles they've won, but bridging the gap in quality between Nigeria and us as Ghanaians?
I think we are close. We maybe today need to accept Nigeria is the #1 in Africa in a women's football. They won the previous WAFCON. So until the next one, they are the champions. But we played against them one friendly before the tournament started in the summer, and there was a close game. I actually felt that we were the better team in the start of it. They had the quality to score the goals. So they because of that, they always stay in the game. But otherwise, I think we are very close to them. But for now, they are the favorites.
Yeah, so you can catch the full interview of Joy Sports Lawrence Bedu's exclusive sit-down with Black Queens head coach Kimlas Bjorkegren tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Now, finally, good news for Bjorkegren and his players, because the Ministry of Sports and Recreation has settled their outstanding bonuses. Each player received $9,000. The Queens had earlier refused to train but called off their boycott on the eve of their clash against Egypt. They got the job done, securing a 7-0 aggregate win to qualify for next year's Women's AFCON. There's a chance for the Queens to qualify for the 2027 World Cup if they finish among the top 4 teams at the tournament. So the Black Queens' outstanding bonuses have been cleared. However, several other national teams and sporting disciplines continue to face financial challenges. The government says it is working to address the situation with the introduction of a sports fund, which is expected to be passed into law soon. Here's Government Communications Minister Felix Kwachi Fosu speaking to Joy Sports.
Efforts are still underway to ensure that the bill is finalized and then it comes to Parliament for consideration. Once it does, it will be subjected to the various processes so that when it becomes law, it is robust enough to meet the objectives for which it was drafted in the first place. Yeah.
And what is your hope about this bill? What do you hope that this addresses eventually?
Well, I think that we've had concerns about the state of Ghana sports, football, athletics, boxing, and what have you. The state of infrastructure, the incentive packages for athletes and other sports people. So my belief is that this bill will generate significant resources that enables us to invest in sports in a manner that yields the outcomes that we want. Because we cannot expect to perform at the highest level and compete globally when we are not investing what we should in sports. Of course, as you know, relying on Government of Ghana funding proves difficult at times because of all the competing needs that we have. So having a dedicated fund that would ensure consistent and regular investment in sports is something that we should all be happy about. And I believe that is what has informed the drafting of this bill. Yes.
To club football now, Frimpong Manson has vowed to build a title-winning side for Nations FC following his appointment. He signed a 2-year deal with a Kumasi-based club, replacing Kasim Mengel, who who was sacked after a disappointing start to the season, winning just 2 of 7 matches. Manson, who led Bibiani Gold Stars to a historic Ghana Premier League title last season, says he is confident of repeating that success at his new club.
If we look at the last 2 seasons, I think nations have always been fighting for the league. And just last season, it took the last 2 games for Gold Stars to win the league. That tells you how serious they are. So for me, yes, we've come also to do our part, to make sure where the team has reached, we also try to make sure we make a mark here in nations. It's not too different. What I believe in is to always try to build a team that is strong enough to win a title, and a team that tries to always play a good football, try to build from the back through the middle and then to the attack. But then I believe in a team that fights. You know, playing alone is one different thing, and also trying to also defend for the team is also another thing. You see, for me, I think football has changed a lot, and knowing how to play alone is not enough. But playing without the ball, that is the most important thing, and that is where we will also look at it critically. Because you can score, and if you don't defend well, you also concede. So we want to go on both sides, with and without the ball, and that is what we will insist, and we will emphasize for all of them to understand and get that concept.
Well, good morning again. Thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show. We're starting the news review shortly, but I just want to run you through most of the news that are making headlines this morning. And we're starting with the day. I'll start with the insights this morning. Bigger story, Govt endorses Baumia. It's quite an interesting read if you're interested. It's on page 3 of the insights this morning. And that impasse, which I already told you this morning that we shall be discussing with our panelists on this table this morning, has also found expression on the insights this morning. Lightwave sets record straight on false claims about health data system. We'll get into that, but it's found its way as well on the insights. I shall quickly go to, well, maybe before I go to the next paper, waste contractors warn of looming sanitation crisis and demand payment of arrears from government. And they are an association, but of course this falls under private-public partnership, where they serve as a gap between the assemblies and you. At least they help the government implement some of the sanitation policies. They are also threatening some sort of a sit down. They won't be going on their regular routine. We'll bring you that when we can. But I'll move to the next paper. The New Finder this morning, GRA to roll out 3% tax on small businesses from November 5. Story is on page 5 of the New Finder. This is quite an interesting one because many have said that there's a lot of money in the informal sector. When we get to the table and we're able to, we shall as well talk about it. This one as well, Agribusiness Chamber demands end to grain export ban, because you may have seen a lot of grain gluts this year up north as well. We've been bringing you that news, and so I probably would understand why the Agribusiness Chamber is demanding that ban on exportation, particularly on grain. I'll move you to the next newspaper to see what's in. Well, did I see fuel price likely to go down from November 1? We'll look into that. You never know. I will look into that as well. At least Kojo is here. He likes the energy conversation. So we'll see if it is just one of those things that people say, government trickery, or it's real. We'll get into that. But, yeah, that's it. Fuel prices set to drop from November 1. All right, let's move to the other newspapers. The Daily Guide this morning, the biggest one, ex-Buffer Stock CEO and wife charged over 78 million Ghana cedis theft. The story is on page 3 of the Daily Guide this morning. And as well, that impasse between Lightwave and the Ministry of Health as well is on the Daily Guide this morning. Lightwave clears air over digital health system shutdown. I'll bring you a short read when I get to take my seat on that as well. And Speaker goes mad over MPs' absenteeism. You know that the Constitution allows just about 15 sitting absenteeism for the members of Parliament. And beyond that, you may have to provide a very reasonable, some good reason why you have absented yourself more than 15 sitting times. I think that's somewhere around Article 97 of the Constitution, together with your standing orders. That's what gives them the opportunity to be absent. But I think he's been going a bit wild on the number of times people have been quite absent. Members of Parliament have been absent in Parliament, despite it being moved to the afternoon sitting. We'll bring you that when we can. But another interesting one that happened is the RNAQ Holdings launches 300 million Ghana Cedi Scale-Up Fund. And particularly, this is for small-scale businesses who are already into business. And this 300 million Ghana Cedis, according to the RNAQ Holdings, is to at least beef up small businesses who are already onto some business and may need some funding as well. I think they cut off the point to say 25 to 40 as well. I'll look into that for you. But if you're a small-scale business, you want to look into that story. It's on page 3 of the Daily Guide this morning. And the Supreme Court as well dismisses that request by Eduboahin and his lawyers to stay on that hearing. That story as well found expression on Daily Guide. But let's quickly as well run through the Daily Democrat this morning. President Mahama reaffirms commitment to a stable city. Story is on page 3 and 6 and 11 of the Daily Democrat this morning. I think he made a post. He tweeted on his X account saying that they're looking to make the cedi stable, not as a strong currency. You can read that as well on the Daily Democrat this morning. And let's see. Okay, we'll go to the Overseer this morning. We've been celebrating the cedi at 60, and there has been a caution that you should handle the cedi with pride. The finance minister has been telling Ghanaians as well. And that media press briefing, or that press briefing by the Minister of Health as well, is on the Overseer this morning. It says that government introduces the GHIMS to replace Lightwave system. It's a big conversation on our table. We'll look at that with his photo as well. I think some good remarks as well for the MIF boss. So Public Accounts Committee commends MIF CEO for competence reforms. And this is the story I was bringing to you earlier. The refuse collectors threaten shutdown and demand payment by November 7. I cannot imagine how the country will look if this happens, but that is it for the newspapers. Maybe I shall bring you the myjoyonline.com quickly. Perfect. So on myjoyonline.com, big story as well. If the anti-LGBTQ bill is not passed, I won't return to Parliament. Emmanuel Bejira vows on live TV, and he's part of the current members of Parliament who are set to reintroduce this bill to Parliament as the Speaker has been clearing the air on that controversy that that bill was passed in the 8th Parliament. Yes, he set the record straight that it needs to be reintroduced. The challenge, however, would be either under the government's proposed bill or private members' bill. We'll get into that on this table. It's time for News Review. Stay with me. Well, thank you for staying. Time now to get into the news quite properly. This morning, we're joined by Dr. Joshua Zato, his political scientist. We're as well joined by Nanaya Osapon, his Deputy General Secretary for the United Party, and also Kojopoku, he's Executive Director, Institute for Energy Security, and member of the NPP Communications team as well. And we're joined as well by Rashid Tanko Computer, Chief Executive Officer for GIFEC, and Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. Gentlemen, thank you for making time for us this morning. How are you all doing?
We're doing well.
This is quite, this looks like a very good buffet. You go for a very good restaurant. There's very good meal on the table. Yeah?
You can make a pick.
I can make a pick. I definitely can make a pick.
Whatever your taste and your
Okay. Okay.
Whatever it is, you can get one on this table.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Kojo. But before we get into
the champagne socialists.
Sorry?
Champagne socialist.
This man is married to two. He's married to two, one Muslim, one Christian. We'll get into that later.
Correct him.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying he's a campaign socialist. He's a campaign socialist.
Married to two.
With a gold watch.
With a gold watch.
Wait, that's what you do rehearse this.
No, just see him.
But he's a campaign
looking all
socialist.
campaign socialist.
The Social Democrats. The Social Democrats are supposed to have a certain discerning nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this champagne socialist, like you
he's a Mercedes-Benz driving.
He's married to
champagne
drives a
champagne driving.
Look at his beautiful
champagne drinking, gold watch wearing socialist.
Well, I think that's Rashid. You are in there for trouble.
Rashid, I do not think even if it's a gold watch, it's up to $200,000, is it?
But it's a gold watch. $10.
And at least you got it before you got into government.
Yes, because you also wearing a gold watch, right?
No, you should watch an interview I had with him last week. He says that his friend gifted him that watch.
Yes. It's a friend. We'll probe that. We'll probe that friend.
Well,
how much is it?
You know NDC and gifts.
NDC. They're not supposed to receive any gift more than 20,000.
Joshua, this morning you're on to something. But anyway,
NDC and gifts.
so gentlemen,
before everything good about NDC is a gift. Everything is.
We want to finish before he activates the cameras.
Before we get into the other matters, there's a lot happening today.
You know what?
The lightwave conversation with the Ministry of Health, of course, and definitely that. Even the sub or the beat that will be that the Cybersecurity Authority says that they're going to be probing what exactly the data that was collected was used for. But because we're mentioning the cybersecurity, it'll be a good time as well when we're dealing with that, talk about that draft bill that sought to regulate or, take care of speeches online. We'll look into that when we can. But before we get into that, have you seen that video?
Of the military man.
Of a purported military man as to whether
Something I really want to talk about.
Okay. Kojo, have you seen it? That's it on your screen. Just take a minute and watch it.
So embarrassing.
So this on your screen definitely looks like a pharmacy.
It is.
That looks like a woman who is about to purchase and a seller already. This gentleman walks in. And if you're not hearing the audio, for those of us who listened there, he seemed to have bought a medication at a certain price of 65 Ghana cedis, went and came back and said that it was sold at a wrong price, and the man would not have the patience for an explanation, assaulted the person who sold it, and assaulted the seller, the other buyer who was also who was also in the pharmacy.
Oh, you've not seen it? I saw it this dawn. This was the video that woke me up.
But who is he supposed to be?
He is buying.
The gentleman slapping the lady around.
He came back with medication.
Yes, I know, but who is he?
We don't even know who. We're told he's a military, but it's not confirmed.
And we are told that the pharmacy is around the
Bema camp area.
And this the military should give us a full report.
But that's if he's a military.
That's if he's military.
If he's not, his face is showing. The police should get him. This gentleman shouldn't be taken to a court and be fined. No. He should not be given an option to pay a fine. This is...
But why do you think an assault is a fine?
Oh, no, it's that most of the times they go
assault under criminal law would not be a fine unless the person wants to go under... Unless the person wants to go under tort, which I doubt.
Our courts... Countless times, the first time, blah, blah, pay the person's hospital bills.
But this serious battery, so...
This was an attempt to kill the girl. I mean, just look at the size of the man.
Yes, so...
And this one should not be put to jail. This is a person you pass a sentence on and donate him to the community.
Hey, for them to do what?
Every morning, he wakes up in the morning. You give him a cutlery, a cutlass or a hoe, then he begins to weed. Also, when we're kids, when you do if you put yourself in such an act in school, you write your name behind your back and you are on campus sweeping from one place to the other. That is what should be done to him. For years. Just look at him.
Oh, but has the police reacted?
Not yet. Not that we have seen.
The military has not denied.
The police has not. The police are very proactive in some of these.
Quite lately, they have.
Yes, they need to be. So I'm sure with such thing on Joy, I'm hoping that and with Mr. Tanko here, I'm sure this thing will be dealt.
He can activate somebody.
Yes, definitely. The police on their own are very proactive. These.
Yeah, I mean, the National Signal Bureau can use this.
No, but this is not even national security. Let the police do it. I think it's a police matter. The police will handle it. If he happens to be a military, the MPs, the military police will also get in and handle it.
Initially, when I saw the video this dawn, I thought the lady was the attendant. Apparently, the lady is also a customer who has come. And you attack her unprovoked. No, from the video, the lady did not even say a word.
Look, let's give them the benefit. I think the police, let's give them some.
I think so too.
They have been very proactive in some of these, and I'm sure a letter will be out by midday. I'm sure the police would have apprehended him, and the right thing will be done. Look, and there's clear video evidence for court. You understand? So this is not really a long stretch. For him to, if a lawyer represents this man to plead not guilty, I'll be very surprised.
But then we would have lawyers doing that. And I always keep saying it. We would have lawyers who, because of money, would go. This is not because of the human rights whatsoever. This gentleman does not deserve a counsel. That gentleman does not.
Well, in law, there's.
Hey, Jai, Professor now, there is nothing
called,
like law.
You
go and assault. I always before you comment. Let's hear him. Just put yourself in the shoes that would have been your wife,
have you listened
or your
to what I'm
sister, or your
say?
mother.
I think it'll be fair for him to make his point. So we'll go on to other issues.
Now. I'm saying law. There's what we call res ipsa loquitur. The matter speaks for itself.
Yes.
So you should have listened to me. The matter speaks for itself.
I just wanted to draw the
no. You should have listened. So it means you were rather going to cause another problem. It speaks for itself. Yes. It's clear.
Yes.
This one there, you don't need to belabor it. It's a straightforward matter.
Yes. And it's what probably you guys will do a summary judgment.
Yes, you have seen that it's a clear assault. I mean, unprovoked and all that kind of thing. And that's what I was giving the dictum, which says the rest loquitur. So when matter speaks for itself like that, it makes it easy to prosecute. And then, so the guy will be dealt with. Seriously, when I saw the thing, I couldn't look at it twice. Like, this is an animalistic behavior.
Yeah.
And should be condemned at all levels. This is very bad, terribly bad. You can't do this.
If it's a military member or even a former military member, I'm sure one of the places they want to look at is something called PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD.
Post-traumatic. Because that behavior, I think that may be the only theory that may try to explain why he will behave like that. Not justify his actions, but why he would do that. Then PTSD, if he is an active military person, I'm sure the military hierarchy may look at that. Not to free him or this, but to see how probably they can help. Yes, and then if possible, to see how they can help others who might be suffering. Because if you look at the militaries, especially in the US, the big militaries, so they have a lot of them suffering PTSD and other things, some of them undiagnosed, they carry it for a very long time. So I want to believe that if he is, then I think they may want to look at that because they will deal with it, but they also just want to study that to understand, is that what it is? And if possible, how many of them are still there in order to curtail future occurrences by some other people?
On your screen is the very raw footage.
No, it's very bad. It's very bad.
So I think that they may look at that. They may look at that.
Terribly bad.
Even if it's any of the forces, if it's at any of the forces,
very bad.
They may want to look at PTSD.
It's very bad. Seriously.
So basically, he saw the lady trying to video him.
Yes.
You see, no, you've come to meet a customer who is buying. Then you just want to bypass the person.
There might be something wrong with him. I don't think he's...
That's what I'm saying.
There might be something wrong.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with him.
No, there should be.
This guy looks quite well.
Don't conclude. There might be something wrong.
This guy looks quite well, honestly.
But there are a lot of...
He knows what he's doing.
You guys are running mental health. You are doing mental health month, right?
Yes.
Month.
Mental health?
Yes.
This month was for cancers.
It's cancers, but there was, there was, look, let's look. I'm saying.
But this is not
something I've just noticed.
Yeah.
He's holding a goiter.
He's going to go.
That's what I'm saying. There might be something wrong with it.
He's holding a goiter.
He looks quite
He's holding a goiter.
An active person.
Yes,
It's a communication device. He's holding a goiter.
Okay.
He's holding a
That's
goiter.
then why
So
I'm
he's
saying
holding a
he's an
goiter.
active service
He's an active service personnel. He's holding a goiter.
That's what I'm saying.
What's interesting is that there are others coming in. He's not attacking them. A person who is psychologically, not okay would attack anybody and everybody. But he seems to have come for some two people.
He knows what he's doing. But I mean,
That's what I'm saying. There's something.
Anyway, okay. I hope that you take, Mr. Computer, I hope that you take a keen interest in this particular matter.
In fact, we've
after a while, if the police doesn't really...
We have already taken serious action on that matter. I don't have the power to announce what is going on.
Okay.
But I can tell you, action is being taken on this. Seriously, this time, the kind of governance system we are running in this country, our eyes on everything going on in the country, just to make sure that the country is safe, the people are at peace at each other, and then businesses will go on. Then we protect everybody. I mean, so we are on social media. This National Signal Bureau boss, Dr. Atabuate, he's on top of his job. He's monitoring closely what goes on platform, social media, and all that. And then the military high command to also up their business. This is an exciting time to be a Ghanaian. And
it's good to have these assurances. So
they are monitoring it. I can assure you. Since last night, we've been talking, and a lot of things are going to be out. We won't allow this thing to glide. No, at all. No, it won't happen.
Okay.
It's not just about talking.
We will not allow this.
The actions that will be taken.
Some days ago...
If you are able to bring videos of other persons out,
and you know the beautiful
this
thing
person
about
when
Accra
being dealt
now,
with, you should see it.
We know if there are these Huawei cameras all around Accra. And from the exact location where he is, they can actually trace him.
How he went? Yes,
they can trace him. The cameras can actually follow him, trace him wherever he is. So if they know the location, those cameras, this one right now in Accra is very easy to trace people because the Huawei cameras are all over. Fortunately for Accra, at least everywhere is covered. And they can trace him. And
they'll get him. I said since last night.
He came in the car.
You can get away with this kind of animalistic behavior. We won't allow that.
Thank you for these assurances. Well, let's get on to, you recall that some weeks ago, some hospitals were, some hospitals were facing some challenges with the NHIS portal because of the integration with the LHIMS. It's moved on and on and on. Then yesterday, we eventually saw the Minister for Health addressing the public. I hope that you followed that conversation because I have the response from Lightwave as they've been clearing the air over digital health system. At least what we know now, the government's position is that the minister says the Ministry of Health has completed an audit into the project and referred the findings to the Attorney General for advice and further action. This suggests some possible outcomes over value for money, contracts, breaches, or some financial irregularities. Now, what's been happening is that the ministry itself has since gone ahead to provide a certain portal that will be performing nearly the same function that the Lightwave company was providing for you if you went to the hospital. They cited a few things that they said the company did. They took 70% of the contract sum, but didn't as well perform all of the agreements that was in there. Now, Lightwave has since responded. They said that Lightwave Healthcare Solutions, and you find this in the Daily Guide, is a Ghanaian company and has clarified circumstances leading to the widespread disruption in the digital health record system in hospitals across the country. In a media release to set the record straight about the certain untruth, the company said the digital health data does not sit outside the country, neither has the system been shut down by its staff. These were two accusations that the minister was on yesterday about. And every facility is autonomous and have their own server with patient data stored locally and only backed up remotely to the Ministry of Health. A centralized data repository sits at the ministry server room. These servers were previously hosted at the National Health Insurance Authority Data Center until the ministry built its new offices It explained. Now, the company further highlighted that nobody shut down the system, clarifying that recently facility managers have disconnected connectivity to their facility to prevent Lightwave staff from accessing and to provide the support. I'll start with you, Kojo.
I've been having snippets of the problem where there's a lot of disruption and I think people going cannot access. And the health information system, which normally is used by either health facilities or laboratories, has different modules that one basically contract to use. Sometimes the data for patient data is kept, some kept, but there's also always a centralized backup where the data is kept. I think it's just a matter of contractual disagreement, misunderstanding of what is going on, and also our brothers from the other side always looking at things suspicious when they've come in. And there's nothing wrong with doing audit and things you meet, because before you continue something, you might want to know whether that thing that you are continuing is in right stead. So I don't have a problem when people want to interrogate certain things further. But now it's becoming a thing where the minister is saying one thing and the company is also saying another. And I think the end of the day, it's the Ghanaian that is going through all the disruption and basically suffering the consequences. So what I will plead with all those involved, especially the company providing the service, because some of these services, today you are the one providing it, but you are not the only one that can provide it. Others are also looking for opportunity to provide that service. Whatever it is, yes, if you are to take your service away, within the interim, there will be disruption and there will be discomfort to patients. But in the long term, there will be a replacement for you, okay? One of the things I have said is that ministers should be able to be liable to judgment debts that they cause or any money that the government have to pay in terms of their actions, they should face causing financial loss to the state. And I really hope there's a law for both sides, MPP and NDC. Because during the MPP time, there were ministers that took decisions that the government lost money and they've gone home, nothing. Government of Ghana, me and you, our taxpayers' money is paying that. Today, there are NDC ministers who will take decisions that in the long term, government money, you and I, our taxpayer money, will go towards those payments. And they don't care because to them, it's not money coming from their pockets. And I think there's time we put a stop to that. When a minister sits in an office and takes decisions, and he knows that if there is a judgment debt or there is a loss to the state in terms of a payment of breach of contract, through an action of the minister, he will be liable down the line. People will be circumspect in taking the right decisions. Unless that people think that they can come in and I don't care, throw their weight about, abrogate whatever, because at the end of the day, it is not their personal money that pays the remedy or the consequence of that action. And it's happened, like I said, in the last 20 years. Yeah. If we to catalog how much money Ghana government has paid in terms of the reckless action of some ministers, and that has led to payment by the government, you'll be surprised how much the amount we come up with. So I think there should be a way so that it will make ministers a bit more careful in dealing with vendors and also finding a good solution. And for me, the vendor should also be a bit more compromising because you are not the only one that provides this kind of service. You are in today. Yes, you can be kicked out at a cost, but finally somebody will replace you.
It's interesting that you mentioned that the vendor must be quite careful. I'll come to you, Mr. Computer, or Tanko. So when we had an engagement with Lightwave, one of the managers over here in the studio, what they said is not far from what they have said here. So they said that it's not that they intentionally shut down the system. They acknowledged that the contract ended in December 2024. However, because of the nature of the service they were providing, they couldn't have just halted it. So they proceeded. They were providing the services up until quite recently, but they were unable to fund what goes into providing the services. So what they had to do was to withdraw some of their workers, which means that they have very small people, which they had to distribute to other facilities. So yes, some people may have struggled, some hospitals may have struggled, but it's not that they went turning on and off the service provision, as the minister has been saying. Tanko, I know that, well, this sits better with you. We as a people will be watching this morning. We either have to believe Lightwave or we believe the minister.
Before I go into the matter, I want to greet my colleagues here. In fact, I have to say good morning to them. And then to you and the good people of Bimbila and Wulensi. That's Nanuba district. I'll be inviting all of you to the place.
No problem.
Yes. You know what? If we hadn't won these 2024 elections, Ghana would have been a failed state.
Oh, my brother.
It would have been one of the failed states that you wouldn't have been proud of. I'm telling you, the winning of the 2024 election has sanitized a lot of things in this country. This Lightwave thing is terribly bad. It's one of the dirtiest things MPP did against the good people of Ghana.
How so?
Seriously, look at, didn't you hear what the minister said? The Minister of Health, let's give him thumbs up, Akando, doing a fantastic job. That contract was a rip-off, complete rip-off. You are supposed to network the whole country, health facilities. You are given a contract to do these services. Provide this service with an amount of money. And there are terms and references as to how to go about this thing.
I mean, while I would want to be clapping for a minister who has purportedly found somebody who is ripping us ass off, it's 9 months. A company, if this indeed is a rip-off, how am I supposed to clap for a minister or a ministry that is now identifying it after 9 months?
You see, when somebody uses eight years to rip you off, don't expect to use 9 months to uncover it. You need time.
Even with
this is
contracts?
criminal matter. You see, criminal issues not some 2-3 months matter. Sometimes criminal investigation can last even up to 20 years. You know what happened to this American musician, R. Kelly? He's now cooling off. Do you know how many years they followed him to get him? It took several years before they finally arrived that he was actually involved in that matter.
How can I impute that analogy here?
Yeah,
because this was contract. We can just reference the contract.
This one is a criminal matter. Somebody has doing a contract with Ghana, ripping us off for 8 damn good years. And then we came in and saw that no.
Guess
although
what?
the contract was ending.
This started during the NDC era.
That is why we are saying the NDC was doing a pilot one. It wasn't a full contract. It was a pilot project that started in April 2016. It was a pilot. When they did the pilot and we saw that it was feasible and therefore we could go all swing and connect all this facility, we lost election. These people came and saw that, these are low-hanging fruits. These are areas we can get. You know them, when they came into office, within 2 months, they were involved in all manner of scandals. I don't know whether they bathed them in scandals during their era in UGC. No, I'm just not my face. It's a fact. Nana, I was quiet. Let me flow.
Don't say certain things. You can't say certain things that we.
What did you say?
What did I say?
They bath us in scandals. How can you say that?
I didn't know that scandals was a shower.
Yes, don't say that, my brother. We are all quiet listening to you, but don't say certain things.
I was
bath
quiet.
MP people with scandals. Don't say that.
I was quiet.
No, I know, but don't say certain things, me patrol. I beg you. I'm just begging. Don't say
this morning, I don't know what happened.
No, but I'm just saying, it's not fair to me. No, seriously.
10 months
it's not fair to everybody who is MP.
But Tanko, do you agree that
it's not fair to everybody MP that we bath us in scandal?
I'm saying that if a party is bedeviled with scandals from the foot to the head, how do you describe it? It's a simple thing. This is a party which bathed themselves in scandals from the onset, from 2017 January, as soon as they were sworn in, within a week, scandal started.
So this particular, what's the scoop?
Is Nana so uncomfortable with this?
No, some members.
Not some members.
Qualified.
Even
some
at
members.
the presidency, they say when you sit by the president, you pay $200,000. What are you talking about? If a fish is going to rot, wouldn't it start from the head? Is that not what was happening?
Please go ahead.
So allow me. You know it. I didn't do it for you. Your people were doing it. At the place, even your own ministers and old party members were accusing the presidency of people before you walk to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo office. You must pay $200,000 to somebody. Is that not how you started it? So we are saying that these people came in, started and said they want to roll out the whole thing. How many hospitals have been that way? Tell me how many, as we speak now. The minister was answering questions on it. When one of the MPs stood up and was talking about the payments and all that, the minister gave it back to you, your people. Look at what you did. How many hospitals did you network? How many? Where is the money? And I'm happy they use forensic audit to uncover all this matter. They will cover all the money.
Are you concerned about the data, the data of patients as well?
Of course, that is why we are saying that. Why should it be sitting somewhere? You know, the server is sitting somewhere in India.
It's not.
We are saying that.
The company says it's not.
Oh, you know these people and their defensive mechanism. When you push them, they'll come with all manner of stories. You see, the former minister is all over the place, talking and defending as if he's the managing director of that company. In fact, our eyes are on him. We are picking intelligence from all his ranting and talking to see where we can pursue him also to give us more information about that matter. No, seriously, Ghana
about this
better.
particular matter.
No, about this particular matter. Yes, Ghana deserves better. We have to protect you. You go to hospital, aren't you? All of us, we will go to hospital. Our data, and then somebody is sitting somewhere and monitoring our lifestyles and all that. How they help this. Is it fair? Is it good for us? When we are talking, now your people, the thing they did to Ghana, I'm sure the next election shouldn't be thinking of contesting. Because the thing they have done, these things are so terrible that more are coming. In fact, more are coming. This is just tip of the iceberg.
Is it?
I'm telling you, more corrupt activities of them are coming. And we are going to let Ghanaians see this is. Okay. That is why they got 38%. Because the things they did, it was so bad. And I don't know why they still defend it. Matters of that matter.
I will come to
I hope you give me time to rebut.
I hope you made your notes.
No,
and whilst you are rebutting, please note that they say the company is a Ghanaian-owned company, especially because the minister indicated that the server was sitting somewhere in India. And they have also said that it wasn't sitting there. So, Dr. Zato.
Thank you very much. You know, this morning we are being invited by my friend to clap for mediocrity.
How we do?
We are being invited by my friend to be happy that 9 months, 8 months, or 10 months into the system, a minister finally woke up from slumber to realize that, oh my God, our health records are in danger. The incompetence in the Ministry of Health is staggering. This is the same minister who told us, look, just look, if you want, you don't take it from me. Ask the nurses who are marching on the streets of Ghana saying this, and then we are told, oh, they were not captured in the budget. You are sitting there here saying that the minister is doing very well. The same minister who told tens and thousands of nurses that your whatever has not been captured in the budget when he knew about it. The same minister who is telling us today that he didn't know about it. And I'm happy you asked him that question. Sometimes when you see this and when you then see people trying to what? To sweet talk about these things, it's infuriating. For how long are you going to continue to blame the former government? When is there an expiry date? Shouldn't there be an expiry date? When is the economy? You are about to read a third budget.
I have a question for you, though. Does it look like a company would actually sit down and not fight back by the time the minister was giving this response yesterday?
They say you must understand certain things.
I'm asking this because of the 9 months into this, and these are contractual agreements, right? Yes. Whether good or bad, it's the government that went into the contract.
Let me tell you what, when the government came, the government has already cancelled contracts, haven't they? They've in fact, a minister went to Parliament to tell us that the 1D1F is now cancelled. Government has cancelled contracts. Why? If you came inside, and especially if something started in 2016, it means it has not traveled through government. It means before you came into power, you knew about this thing. The Minister of Health was a ranking member on the Health Committee in Parliament. Did he know about this? He didn't know about this. So I know he shouldn't come to Parliament for ratification, but at least you cannot be a ranking member of Health and say that you didn't know that this thing existed. The point I'm making is that you came into office and you saw this thing. What did you do to alleviate the situation? If it was not good, why didn't you cancel it? If it had problems and opinion, and you are saying that the contract ended 2024, so it means that by the time you assume office, this contract was over. So what did you do? That is the question I'm asking. Any competent...
They had a few meetings, according to the company.
If you had a few meetings, then even if you wanted to put in a stopgap measure, you now put in a stopgap measure and say, look, our intention is to cancel this or not to renew it. But for the time being, this is what we are going to do to make sure that there are no disruptions. That's what an effective manager
The company says as of now, the government owes them $900,000.
Exactly. So even if you cannot pay that money, that's the point I'm making. What best stop time measures did you put in place for a transition? Even if you are cancelling it, you put in a transition because we are talking about sensitive health data of people. You put in a measure to say, okay, look, we've reviewed this thing, we don't like it. Our plan is to change it. In order to change it for the time being, and considering the complications needed, considering that there are a lot of sensitive data needed, and considering that we have to deal with where to even store the data and other things, we are going to come up with a transition system to make sure that we take it back or we cancel it and keep all things safe and keep it done. You work out a deal with them. That is what competent managers do. That is how you handle such sensitive things. You don't wait until the people see. They are private sector, and I think some people don't understand. Private sector is not for the
Let me pay attention to you a little bit. So, with this energy, not actually seeing how much the effort the minister has put into this, I know that we do not want to go back, but are you looking at, if whatever the minister is saying is true, are you looking at the quantum of money that has gone into contract sums that were not delivered properly? So, if everything he says is true. So there are two things.
If it is criminal, I'm looking at it. Is there a criminal activity? Arrest them, prosecute them.
Okay.
Has somebody caused financial loss to the state? Let the law take its own course. I always believe, look, we shouldn't lump everything together and make it look. There are different things. One, there's the management of the things. Two, there's the sensitivity of the data. Three, there's the science or the technology. And three, there's the law on financial costs or whatever it is. If these people have committed crimes, why are they still walking around free? Why are they not in jail? Why are we not prosecuting them? Do that. Use the coercive force of the state to do that. Two, they use the technological aspect of the state to also then deal with how to secure the information.
Okay.
And then three, they tell us that this is a transition period. My point is that when you are using this convoluted approach, now we don't even know which one we are talking about. Are we talking about where the data is saved? Are we talking about the crime or alleged crime?
Well, wait.
Are we talking about the ownership?
The cybersecurity
But that's the point. Why wait now when there's a disruption? Couldn't this things have been done? As a government, as a minister, you should learn to walk and talk. Chukjom at the same time. Should we wait until when the data of Ghanaians is now in jeopardy, almost in jeopardy, for us to now be starting these knee-jerk approaches? My point is that there has to be an expiry date on when you can just, for everything you say, blame the former government, blame the former. We need an expiry date. If not, people are going to get away with incompetence by just blaming what happened or what didn't happen. Okay. That is not good for this country.
Okay, Nanaya.
It's interesting. And I have always been concerned about how certain sensitive data of citizens are kept. These are very sensitive data. I always say that issues of health be treated as of a national security interest. I remember we had this same data issue with the Electoral Commission, where we had a private sector handling our electoral data. I have never been against private sector, but I have always been against a private sector or a private man handling sensitive data. If he wakes up and the wife gets him angry, or the husband gets her angry, he decides to shut down, it means that our health data and information is gone. And when government has delayed in any performance, payment of money, decide to go off, just as they said. They did not shut down, but in a way reduce some services, and it affected our health service delivery. If what we heard is right, correct, it means that this data issue on trying to network our health facilities have been going on for more than 8 years. And it should tell you the amount of data these people have. Mefa, I do not know the terms of reference of the contract, but by now, Ghana Health Services should have been able to build capacity, be able to handle this data properly.
Well, now they have they not? The ministry has announced it, so.
No, it just came up, I'm just saying. By now, they should be able to build capacity. I do not know, and I cannot attest to the level of the capacity they have to have had this policy announced. But, Emifa, what are the terms of reference of this contract? It should be something that we should know. How much went into it? What were the other alternatives we had? What has been the negotiations and the round table discussions from the time the issues started coming up and unfolding? This is data of Ghanaians who patronize our health facilities. I do not think that if you go to the Western world or those places that we want to learn from, they would, for a second, want to joke with this kind of data. I have read, when this thing came up, I read a literature somewhere which talked about a health facility in the US somewhere that was sued because accessing a patient's data delayed for a while, and because they did not have information, the woman passed on. And everything was attributed to the fact that they did not have access to the data. Now, the service provider, the hospital was sued, plus the service provider. They had to compensate the family huge. In fact, at the end of the day, the story was that their licenses were withdrawn. We have come to a point where we need to take the life of the ordinary Ghanaian serious. If you go into our health facilities, the delay in service being provided, I do not know if sometimes they enjoy the queuing system that is there, that the providers of these services just enjoy seeing Ghanaians there. But most of the times when you have questioned them, they attribute it to the delay of their network and their system.
I thought that was quite cured by the system.
Recently, even the health
minister... It was only recently when
the health minister even went to a place and then we saw it. This is not being cured. We always pretend to cure some of these problems. We always pretend to cure some of these problems. That's why I'm saying that I do not know the terms of reference because, you see, dealing with the terms of references, you would have, it would define the scope, it would define the task, and it would define the deliverables.
Yeah.
Then we would be able to match them and see whether or not that the $100 million contract was indeed worth it. Whether they are indeed meeting the terms of references that were set.
Okay.
Are we able to put or measure the current system that is being proposed?
That was just rolled out.
That was just rolled out.
Yes.
Are we able to measure the performance of that? In my view, if Ghana Health Services would be able to roll it out as they have and make it work.
It will function. If it will function properly, then what? Lightwave, do they have any data that they're supposed to be collecting? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. If they are able to make it work, and we need to sit down with Lightwave and collect the data they have of our people, then we do. And if we have to pay them off, we pay them off.
Okay.
Because this should be of a national security interest to us all.
Okay.
Because these are very sensitive ones.
Okay.
And I said, let's put, you see, when we want to talk more technical, it might confuse us. Assuming a private man holding these sensitive data and decides that I am no longer in terms with probably the policymakers or the managers of health and decides to shut down. I was reading a paragraph that said that the other one talks about the kinds of equipment. It says the contract states HP or equivalent in specifications. And Lightwave is claiming that they supplied trusted brands. Was it their measurement of specifications, or it was a specification that was given by Health Ministry? They talked about COVID having caused the delay in implementation. And you and I know that when COVID came, issues of health delivery and health services was not part of the restrictions. So it's difficult for me to understand and agree why COVID-19 caused a delay in
implementation. Okay. Could you...
Because if under COVID-19, we're able to import and bring some vaccines and some equipment to support health delivery services, how come it delayed the implementation of this particular one?
Okay. Question that maybe when we get to Tanko, he can respond. But, Kojo, you have a few things you want to respond to.
I'm very disappointed in my brother. You see, look, when we sit and we want to do national issues, let's do national issues. Look, you rightfully said that the contract had expired in December 2024. Clearly, the minister, it would have been brought to his attention that a critical infrastructure as such has expired during transition. The minute you took office, your day one emergency is to resolve that problem. Because whether you renew the contract or you don't, whether you find a transition period for a new one to come on and you move on. 9 months down the line, my brother is using words like criminal. And from his legal jargon, he knows better. Right? You cannot call something criminal until he has gone to a competent court of a court of competent jurisdiction to now deem it criminal. You can allege that maybe there's a misappropriation or something that went on. But for us to sit on TV to say that, oh, the MPP party swim in scandal or is bathed with scandal, it's not right. You understand? One thing I have always said is that when the NDC, and they are going to have that same, Kojo Poku have always said that party and government are two different things. And he will experience it very soon. That he is a member of the party, but not, okay, he's head of GIFEC, so he's a member of government. But some people are member of the party, but not member of government. I, Kojo Poku, am a member of party. I was not a member of government. So when the MPP party, members of it, right, are there, and there are things that were done by the government, don't now put the whole of MPP in that soup. It's not fair. Because he will experience it very soon that there are people in his party that will not share the same view of things that he does that goes wrong in the government. So please, when we are discussing some of these issues, let's discuss it in that line of saying that things are criminal. If it's only criminal if he's gone to court and he's been proven otherwise, or he's been proven that it's criminal. The point I want to get across to with what my brother said was, data is the National Protection Data Act, which protects customers' data. So it's not just simple that somebody can just shut off things like that. But today, whether my brother Tanko wants to blame MPP 9 months down the line, or the Ghanaians who are watching us today need a remedy. They need a solution. What's the solution, right? You sat down for 9 months, and your only remedy and your only solution to everything, your akubam, is MPP did this, MPP did that. That's why Ghanaians voted for you. And for 1 year, you spent 1 year already.
You know the use of akubam.
Sorry?
You know the use of akubam.
Don't I get used to?
You know the use of akubam.
He's not a pharmacist.
I doubt that'll be sold at the pharmacy, though. It'll be sold at a chemical store.
Yes, but you see, Akubam used to solve everything, right?
I know, right?
It solves everything.
Yeah.
So their Akubam is that everything is MPP.
Yeah.
1 year down the line, you need to move on from that.
Yeah. I'll still start. Yeah, I'll let him respond, and I'll still start with you. And it's easy for me to to stay a little longer with the two politicians, right?
Exactly.
Because,
There's a third one. Tato is part of it.
You see?
Yeah, two Baumia.
Please respond and let me.
You know
on the data protection, I would want to make it.
Okay.
MFA, I'm happy my good friend Kojo is running away from the government of MPP. All of them are running away
No, but he was
from
not. Did he hold any position?
Kojo,
in?
no, I did
he
not.
didn't.
Yes, he said he didn't hold. So he doesn't want us to be talking about their government because they want to run away from that government.
No, nobody's run away
because
from
that government was one of the most terrible governments we've ever seen in this country.
No, but blame individuals.
And I'm saying, no.
If you have individuals, blame them. But I don't think the entire government was bad.
You see?
Unfortunately, you would agree that if it cannot be that much, right?
You know, he knows it. Kojo,
when a person is appointed by a government, unfortunately.
I am happy this morning. Kojo is saying that the MPP party is running away from the MPP government because what they did against Ghanaians, he doesn't want to share it. That's why he's telling Ghanaians, and I'm happy.
No, they heard me.
What would you do in this particular contract? What are you doing? It's not enough the minister saying that they rolled out a new one.
When I use that word, you see, he knows what we call circumstantial evidence. He knows it.
What is
and
it?
He knows when the matter is very clear and everybody knows. Yes, I do know that, yes, these are matters that are yet to be prosecuted and all that. They are going to be prosecuted. You can't run away with our money. This state money. You can look, I'm happy you was talking about it. You can't hide behind COVID. That COVID thing is yet to come. You have even reminding us. A lot of matters are people will be called back from their homes. They think they are going to rest over there.
Kojo, do you sense
and they are saying that
in this?
you will have to account for it. The matter, the
politics. What is he doing? What is not politics?
Not him. The umpires between the minister.
I'm not there.
Are you happy
that
you cough out state huge sums of money, $100 million to somebody, and the person will give you this kind of chicken cheating? Are you happy?
No,
is that what you are?
I'm not happy. But the
and
point
so what
is
are you talking about?
10 months down the line, what has the minister done first day in office?
That is what the minister says. They have to investigate. You don't expect us to use these few months to uncover your rot for 8 years. You destroyed this country for 8 years.
Okay.
And so we are now trying to fix it, reset it.
And
that's what we are talking about.
On this data issue you were talking about.
Yes.
See, the existence of data protection does not cure the withdrawal of services, which was what I was talking about. You listen to the company. It says that these disconnections invariably causes a trigger that would log systems out until connectivity is established. He says, unfortunately, because our staff have been reassigned, does the data protection cure reassignment of staff? No. What's the
I think the umbrella decision, so what I think is on the table now is whether whatever the challenge is, what are they doing with the data?
Dr. Zato is aware, all of them.
The data being handed.
They used it for campaign, to campaign their MPP. That was why they were ripping off our money.
Well, it was his time. I took a few seconds to give to you.
I know that this was a rip-off. They know it, and we are going to look to the details of it. I just own him. You can't do this to Ghanaians.
How do I know?
But you want to, are you happy with it? You say you are not happy.
Let me finish with my...
I think you made the point. I think you made the point. Dr. Zato, take a second. We need to go on to what the minority has been doing in Parliament. So, Dr. Zato, just a few seconds to respond to this, and then I'll come to you, Kojo.
I just want to say that this morning, this champagne drinking bourgeois socialist here has come.
I'm a social democrat. Look, social democrat, correct? Social democrat.
He's not running away from the champagne drinking part. Good.
Only a social democrat.
Look, the point I'm making is this. Mr. Minister and Mr. Government, please, there has to be an expiry date on when you can blame all your woes and pathologies on the former government. Own the system, own the economy. When will you stand up, raise your hand, and accept that you own the economy? For Christ's sake, it's 10 months into the system. Whatever that was wrong, cancel it. Whosoever starts to prosecute the person and move on.
But is that not what they're doing now?
No, but that's not. But you said blaming. You said blaming the.
We're not blaming.
You will be blaming.
In this particular case, it's a very sensitive thing. Help data of people. You come in, you sit and tell you always, oh, look at that. No, let's move on. Prosecute people if they are guilty. Refrain the system. If you are going to extend this contract, extend it. If you are not extending it, create a transition period. Let's say from this period, let's work together, government and you, to create transition so that there will not be disruptions. That is what responsible management is.
Okay. Tanko, before I even go to Kujo, so the company says that they do not have access to the reports, this forensic report that the minister has ordered. However, the minister has just been telling us that it's been forwarded to the Attorney General for advice.
Yes, why are they in a hurry? They shouldn't be in a hurry.
But wouldn't it be fair that they have a copy of it at least to know what they are being investigated for?
If you don't steal saltpeter in the market, you don't run away.
What is saltpeter?
Kanwa. If you are in the market, you don't run away. Why are they run away? Why are they?
Is that why you're always running away from the market?
I'm saying that. That's what they are telling. Saltpeter, you know in the village.
You always run away from Ibla market. Is that why you were always running away from Ibla market?
What does that mean?
Oh, now I know why he's always running away from Ibla market.
Give me the quote again. If you don't steal
saltpeter in the market, you don't run.
That's why he was always running. I know. It's Ibla market.
He knows what running. He's a village boy, so we know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. That's why you're always running.
So you see,
I've never run from Tumu market.
Okay, so you expect that the company should just be quiet and then wait for the minister to forward a report that they're going to be investigated for to the Attorney General.
Yes,
but that's the finality to it.
To come and answer questions. We are looking for, you see, it's part of the oral process.
What kind of examination is this where you haven't been given materials to know what you're going to be examining?
They have to recover the justice. I am saying that we have to recover the loot.
Okay.
Because the kind of loot that we have seen unprecedented since 1990, when we came back to democracy 90, I've never seen this type.
Okay.
And then we have to recover it. And that is what Kojo is aware. Kojo has already run away from the government.
It was a busy parliament yesterday,
yes.
Especially because of the minority.
Audit report. The company cannot tell me there was no exit conference after the forensic audit. Because when you go to audit somebody, you do a conference or a meeting before the audit starts.
Why do you choose to believe the minister and not them?
It would be difficult for any audit service provider to do a report without an exit conference.
Okay, well.
I mean, it would be difficult.
Okay.
Very fundamental.
So yesterday in Parliament, the minority says that they're seeking to halt the vetting of the new Chief Justice, the one that has been nominated. My question is, we know the nuances with this Chief Justice. We know that the removed Chief Justice has been, challenging a few things in court. Would they be right? Would they have some right to want to go on this tangent?
Well, if the nomination by the president, by law, and that's what is stipulated to be done, has been done and sent to Parliament, then it's in the hands of Parliament to apply the standing orders that they have in the vetting of the president nomination. If Parliament feels otherwise, then they have to give a justification to the president why they can't go ahead. It can be delayed through the debates and stuff like that, but I don't think that ultimately they can stop the vetting, because Parliament has to give a reason why they cannot vet the president's nomination. Or when the president nomination goes for vetting, they can use the reasons that they have to basically, because bear in mind, after the vetting, it has to come back to the plenary for a vote. If the appointee doesn't get a unanimous at the vetting. What I would tend to believe is that the minority has concerns, rightfully so, they've raised it. How the speaker and the majority side work with the minority side to address those problems is a matter of democracy, right? I think that the NDC is always grandstanding, and that's something that we've seen in all our parliament in the Fourth Republic, where the ruling party basically just whips everybody in line to do the bidding of the executives. So I think, yes, ultimately the vetting will be done, but probably delayed.
Let me stay with you. What will it cost Parliament and us as a country, or even the government, if they indeed allowed the removed Chief Justice to exhaust all of her legal battles?
Well,
what would it cost?
It's what she is doing does not stop. It can run in parallel. Now, if there is a thing where you go and seek an injunction, And one of the things that my learned friends and legal people have told me is that the only time courts are looking at injunction is that there will be a damage that is irreparable if that process goes through, right? So if the Justice Tokonu go to court and says that if you allow the current appointee to be vetted and goes through, then there is a damage that's irreparable, right? So stop, injunct the process. Until she gets an injunction, I think Parliament is right to go ahead. Like I said, minority has expressed their misgivings. They've expressed their position of law and all the things. But ultimately, it can be put to a vote, or the Speaker might rule it, might overrule. And the vetting, for me, though delayed, will definitely go ahead. If Justice Tokonu wants to stop it, she needs an injunction from a competent court to say that I'm injuncting the process, because if the process goes through, there will be an irreparable damage to her. And that's the only remedy.
But if you look at it, she's the things that she's seeking, if indeed it goes in her favor, really, that'll be an irreparable damage.
Yes, what I'm saying is that, but then the court will have to decide, are there other remedies aside going back to her job? Because maybe she can be compensated. So is there a compensation? So the court will have to look at all those things, that can she be compensated? And I think in the court's wisdom, they will decide that, look, yes, we can inject. Even if in the long run you win that you were unlawfully removed, you can be compensated and go on. But I honestly don't think that the courts are going to injunct that process. Like I said, it might be delayed, but ultimately the vetting will happen.
Tanko, what will it cost the government if you just held on a bit? And what will it cost Parliament if they indeed listen to the minority? You know that prior to Parliament going on this recess, there's one thing that the minority has been saying. It says that, well, yes, their numbers are small, but it looks like the other side do not allow them a space, do not allow them to express themselves that much. You're taking decisions arbitrarily. Now that they're seeking, or they're presenting a motion at least, to put a halt to this vetting until the Chief Justice exhausts all of her legal battles, what will it cost the government if they do?
You see, we smell a rat in this matter. Seriously. No, I know this group we are dealing with. From the onset, they took some interest in the matter. And from the onset, when the petitioners sent their petition, and it was forwarded to the Council of State, and people jumped into the fray, as if a woman organizer of their party was being held before the Council of State. What interest have they been? We've been asking them to disclose, in fact, just disclose your interest and let's move ahead. All legal process went through. Madame Tokonu has been given all her legal rights. Even went to ECOWAS court. Is that not true? She went to the Supreme Court, her own court, where she sat. They dismissed most of her matters.
Not the substantive ones.
Saying that they dismissed a lot of issues. Even when she wanted to stop the process of the committee and all that, they dismissed her. You see, they are holding the country into ransom. We are not going to allow that.
But he's acting.
The
judiciary is functioning.
The NPP group, they are holding the country into ransom.
On this particular matter, but on this particular matter, are they? Because the judiciary is functioning properly, quite well. Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You see, 87 of them, they just a thought in in Parliament. So they will always have to make noise for Ghanaians to listen to them. Because what are they doing? What are they talking about?
Okay, let me just give you a quick update on our initial, one of the things that we're discussing, and then I'll come back to you. So, on the soldier,
exactly, they've arrested him.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wait, is it your personal secretary that sent it to you? Take it from me.
I can even give you one better. That's why I can even give you one better. The girl she beat, her father is a major general. The girl in the shop, her father is a
major general.
Yes. So that's the development.
I think that one is definitely going to need this Akobam you talked about. Our attacking
but I want to see.
Apparently, her daughter is a daughter of a major general.
Now we are talking. Now we have a show.
Yeah.
MFA, you remember I told you in the beginning that a lot of discussion went on last night.
Yes.
Okay,
we'll give you the credit.
Our government is up to the tax. We want to protect Ghanaians. And you always give NDC government credit.
Please, credit. Tanko, for the first, credit the institutions.
That is why I'm saying that
credit. Then you would amplify it to government. First of all, no, you see, gentlemen who are recruited to work.
I mean, let me land and you talk, and we'll come to that. Let me tell you.
So credit them first.
Those institutions existed. Do you know what? Those institutions existed for 8 years. You saw how reckless this country was being run. It takes leadership to get the institutions to work.
So Tanko, has he been arrested?
Leadership took decisions.
Tanko, has he been arrested?
Oh yes, he's and then you see all this evidence. I couldn't have disclosed things because I don't have that power to do that. But I'm saying that all this information I had that information.
Kojo, who is not a member of government,
because this one is public now.
This one's a political
because that thing is now public. That's why
it's on Facebook.
I showed it to you.
It's on Facebook.
I said that one is public.
How is it that the non-certain government people have the information? You are withholding it.
It's on Facebook. Just now. But I told you that actions will be taken, didn't I?
Okay.
Yes. But you know what?
Okay, let's go back.
I'm back to my issue.
Yes.
Don't let me run away from these people. We must face them.
Election is over. You have won. 10 months
His cameras activated.
You are
still he has activated his cameras.
You are still doing campaign.
No, I'm coming. Kojo.
Is that the camera you activated?
Kojo and Zato. Baumia people. Let's face.
Is that where we've got into?
No, but it's a fact.
Is that where we've got into?
Allow your gold watch to know.
They say, let them know.
Dr. Zato, no. I won't allow you to do that to my guests.
They are doing injustice to...
He's my big brother, don't worry, he understands.
To Canada, Japan, he should have been here. These people are not here. You see, learned judge Bafo Boni will be vetted. I'm happy Kojo said it. Nobody is going to stampede the process. We must respect the president's choice, allow the process to go through, go and sit at the vetting committee. If you have questions, concerns, raise it over there.
No, so my question is that, what does it cost?
It costs a lot.
You know, because of the nature of our laws, if you seek an injunction on a particular matter, it is because you're waiting for a hearing on the substantive matter. Correct me if I'm wrong. For this particular Chief Justice, most of all of her substantive issues have not even been heard. Now, yes, there's finality. If you look at the committee report and the recommendation to the president, he has indeed acted on the committee's report. But my question really is that for this particular one that the minority is asking, the minority, though 87, that is 87 constituency. That's quite a good number of people in the country asking that, put a halt on it. To the vetting, they're not saying that the president shouldn't nominate or anything. Give us time, because of the pending legal matters.
I'm happy.
How much does it cost?
No, Kojo explained that aspect of injunction.
Yes, he has. I want to hear you.
I share his position on that.
Okay.
Very clear. Of what damage is she going to cause on her? That's why the courts refused to injunct any process. It's not when she wanted to injunct the committee and all that. On what basis? Because of your parochial interest, the whole country should come to a grind halt. No, we're not going to do that. In any case, when we are even talking of their 87, I have a problem with their 87 numbers. That 87 is not even correct. Because we have problems. You do know that there are some challenges against some seats. It's just that it's slow. It doesn't mean that they are still comfortable with it.
Remind me again, which one?
Oh, we're still chasing them with Ablekuma Centra, Entema East and all this. Those constituencies, you think the matter, we will resurrect the matter if they continue making.
But until then, they are members of parliament. Have
they are, but
I don't think the minority leader will be happy with this.
We can come in at any point in time. Okay. The matter is still in court. It has not been thrown out yet. So they should hold their horses on that. But let's face it. Let's allow the process. He's a fine gentleman. Bafo Boni is a learned person, and he is ready to do the job of a chief justice. He's acting correctly. So I don't see the interest of minority in this matter. In any case, if we are going to measure them with the same standard they are holding on these people, I don't want to go. But if we are going back to them, then they will come back. The thing they did for 8 years, legally, everything of them, terribly bad. And I'm saying that we just allow this to go on. He knows that.
You see, my brother is like a driver who is constantly just looking at the rearview mirror. He cannot look for where to go. You know what happened to you? Accident.
Even if you don't see the driver behind you, you go and do it and hit somebody. What will you do?
There's something that is happening that I think, once we're in Parliament, I'm happy. Look, these things, I always had the belief that Parliament was the master of its own businesses. So I don't think that this legal process will stop Parliament. I honestly don't think so. I think they're going to go ahead and I think they're going to vet the nominee and I think it's going to go through. I don't think the court will do that. But once we are still in Parliament, there's something else that is in Parliament that is important for us to talk about. There was a kerfuffle, a clash between the Speaker of Parliament and the Majority Leader over the LGBTQ as to what is current status. Fortunately, the Speaker of Parliament ruled, and the Speaker agreed 100% with the President of the Republic, who also said that he believed that that thing had died with the last Parliament. But the President did not stop there. The President went ahead and promised this country that he will introduce a public sector anti-LGBTQ. In other words, the Attorney General will deliver that bill. Mr. President, Your Excellency, please keep your word. We don't want a private, because a private member's bill, the way I've read it and I've tried to understand it, they've said a simple challenge. If you put somebody in prison, a simple challenge to it means striking down because of this. So what I'm saying is that I'm praying.
What's the point of order?
So I'm hoping that the President of the Republic.
What's the point of order? I'll come to you. What's the point of order?
Let me raise point of order.
You know, what is this point? I never knew raise point. Can we raise that? Can we raise point of order?
You can.
Yes.
You can.
Raise. We are talking of the vetting of.
And you are not the host. You are not the host. You don't.
That's why the panel. The host. That's why I say we should discuss.
You are not the host.
You're talking of LGBT.
You cannot
do that.
He has his time.
You're out of order.
I'm still in Parliament. We are in Parliament.
He didn't say we should choose anything in Parliament. He said we should talk of Bafo Bonny, vetting and all that. You are talking of LGBT. You're out of order. She might be called to order. That's a fact.
He has his time. He has his time.
So he decided to choose. So you should have given me that leverage to choose which I wanted to.
Thank you for your point of order. Noted.
So go back.
He's a political scientist. He decides to want to put some science to what's happening in Parliament.
This morning I agree with the President and I agree with the Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament is one of the biggest champions of...
Is this to suggest you don't want to talk about the
I'll rope it in. So please, let's get the government-sponsored bill, not a minority bill, and then give it to that as the biggest Christmas gift. Every Christian in this country, 24th night and December, will say, hallelujah, God bless you, Mr. President, if you give us this bill and sign it to law. Thank you, Mr. President. We are looking out for that bill. Thank you. Coming back, look, Bafo Bonny will be vetted. He will be sworn in. He will become the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. But once that is done, my fear, as I've said, is this. It seems that right now, any government of Ghana coming in will bring along their own Chief Justice.
How do you arrive at this conclusion?
I arrived at this because I'm saying that the precedent's being set in firing this Chief Justice and bringing a new one will not be kept, nobody will forget it. No, in fact, the grassroots of the NDC love this so much, and the grassroots of the NPP hate it so much so that any new president who comes in and doesn't go by this, your own grassroots will chase you out of the Jubilee.
But you saw the process. The process was sort of walk in the path, though.
It's not supposed to be. In fact, on the contrary, I thought that it would have been impossible to remove a Chief Justice. But the process has told me that it is so easy, so simple to do that. You can just do it, like that, and go on. It is the simplest and the easiest thing to do. So that's rather, in fact, on the contrary, that's what I thought that to remove a co-equal arm of government. A co-equal arm of government. There are three arms of government. That's what we teach students: the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. That to remove a co-equal arm of government, if you tell me that this is easy and can be done on such, like almost like a food delivery menu system, I would have said no. But we have shown that it can be done. We've shown that where there is the political will.
What's the problem? Is it the government or the provision in the Constitution?
I'm not saying this. I'm saying that we've not shown that it can be done.
Who are the we? Who are the we? Government? Because we had a Constitution and we have a government.
Yes.
Who are you blaming? The provision?
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm actually not blaming. I'm just saying that I've having watched the whole thing happen. I now know that it's very easy to remove a Chief Justice. That's what I'm saying. Having watched the process from the first day the petition was submitted to when it was done.
Give me a minute.
It is now very simple.
It's easy?
It is.
Do you think it's easy?
Well, look, the precedent has been set. The process has been done.
The path has been beaten.
The precedent is there. Everybody that wants to do it.
We just copycat and paste.
Look at the orchestration. If you look at the orchestration, government, we shouldn't set certain things in motion to let people think that it's possible to do.
Quickly, let me interject. As you said, the day former EC chair Charlotte was removed was the day this president was set. The day she was removed, the day that it was said. And now you're going to see...
who said the president? Or is it not your
I agree.
So why are you talking about this?
But I just agree.
But he's talking holistic.
I'm just talking holistically.
He's talking holistic. Don't put it as if this government has set a...
No. This government has set a precedent. Yes, I've said that.
What have we done?
You have removed a co-equal arm of government. That's never been done in this under this public.
It started under MPP.
Hey, Charlotte was not a co-equal arm of government.
No, this woman, the learned Chief Justice, former Chief Justice. Do you know that?
She was not removed by
hold on.
To remove a co-equal arm of government is the first time under this constitution.
I am saying the process
Charlotte was not a co-equal arm of government, no.
What's the problem with the first time or that?
Good.
This was the first time. Nana Akufo don't receive a petition against.
And now this president has not made it that it will not be a menu to order. Any new president coming inside will just quickly order it. Oh, remove the Chief Justice and remove the... It will happen.
No,
that's the point I'm saying.
Do I hear you in one breath not happy when Tanko Rashid goes back to the past? But I hear you in another breath envisioning that it can happen when a new government...
He was going to the past, I'm going to the future.
So you're already thinking of the future?
Yes.
So you want Ghanaians to go to come and you start moving people. Is that what you are looking for?
Okay, Nanayo, let's get...
So you see how they are. Ghanaians, everyone is watching you.
I'm a Catholic. We're going to Advent. Advent means hope.
Let's get
Blessings, the coming of the Lord.
I was very...
Get into the mood.
I was very quiet when you were speaking.
Nana, it's not true. You know how to interfere. I will interject you
You see, number one, Article 146 was not established by any president. It's in the Constitution. And I stated before that I was excited when Article 146 traveled the whole hall, or the end of it, and so that we are able to identify the loopholes. And if, together as a country, we decide to amend Article 146, then we do. I am excited that the former Chief Justice is putting Ghana through this legal battle so that we settle it once and for all. Emifa, when you read the motion or the petition that was filed by the minority, you will notice that they quoted some articles from the 1992 Constitution. I do not know if they actually quoted it, considering it in its holistic nature. But one of which they quoted was Article 125. And if you read the clause 3, it says that the judicial power of Ghana shall be vested in the judiciary. Accordingly, neither the president nor the parliament nor any organ or agency of president or parliament shall have or be given final judicial power. The 4 says that the Chief Justice shall, subject to this constitution, be the head of the judiciary and shall be responsible for the 1, administration, and 2, supervision of the judiciary. And it means that, in my view, the judiciary cannot be halted. It has to go on. The judiciary does not end in the office of the Chief Justice. They are in charge of its administration, and the person, the Chief Justice, is the supervisor. That office would have to run. The litigation she's putting us through will not end any soon. And we cannot hold judicial services and activities and administration because somebody is refusing to admit the fact that she has to go home. The two can travel together. If there is a need for us to come back and deal with the matter when the litigation ends and the final judgment is given, why not? We will. But until then, we should have a Chief Justice, and judicial administration and supervision would have to go on. Imagine us not having a president. Zato was talking about 3 arms of government. You were talking about the executive, legislature, and you're talking about the judiciary. And when in your explanation you forgot to tell the Parliament of Ghana, that is a minority, that they do not have the powers to hold work of the judiciary. But if you read the petition they have sent to the office of the Speaker of Parliament, the items...
Actually, Parliament can hold the work of the judiciary.
Who can bro? What has been...
You said I didn't say
labeled.
that, but I'm saying they can do. Parliament has the power to do that. They can simply refuse not to give them money.
The Parliament does not give them money.
Parliament has the power of the purse. They can decide not to give money to them.
They can decide not to approve their...
Yes, so that's not giving them
money. And
the
executive... not. And that is why some of us see that there is not absolute...
No, you said I've not said that.
I've said on countless times that there is no absolute separation of powers.
They are.
Okay, scratch my back as well. But what I'm trying to establish is that if you look at the items that have been labeled by the...
Actually, Parliament can also refuse to vet them and not put it to work, so they can stop their work.
Majority, they can't stop them.
No, they can decide not to. No, you're talking about Parliament. Parliament can decide. You said I should take
I mean,
you asked me.
Fair, he's raising some...
Yes, Parliament can decide to stop their work by not approving their budget. Parliament can decide that any justice that can will not vet you and prove you and cripple them. Parliament can do that.
Let's not pretend that the Parliament we have today has always been like this.
What I'm saying is that some of us belong to the school of thought that there is no absolute separation of powers. If Parliament approves and executives decide not to pay, what happens? And
you cannot decide not to pay because if it's law, the law says pay this and you don't pay, you can say there's no money.
That's not law. That's
the law.
That's not law.
That's the law.
Okay.
That's the law.
Let me two of them are basically saying the same.
Parliament will hold you before.
He's saying that this thing has been done. What my brother is saying is that in the belief that he is saying that there are three separation of power. In practice, there isn't a separation.
Exactly.
That's what he's saying. Yes, we are thought
there's separation. In practice, they work together for the republic.
Yes,
they work together for the state.
Yes, but
I think they enable each other. But they are separate. They are separate.
I think the statement, what my brother Danaya is trying to say is that we are taught that there are three separation of power, as if that they run independently. But what he's saying is that in practice,
it does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
But even the Constitution says that one has an oversight role.
So that's the point.
And I'm trying to say that we cannot halt the constitutional mandate of the Chief Justice. The office cannot come to a halt. It can't come to a standstill. They have a constitutional obligation. And Parliament cannot halt the constitutional obligation.
And so basically, the minority won't get what they're asking for.
Absolutely. They don't have to get it.
Okay. I have just 4 minutes, and I want to spend it on the fuel pricing, the fuel price that will be...
the anticipated reduction.
The anticipated reduction. And Kojo, and especially because you are here. So November 1, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Association say that, well, we're seeing some projections. We'll see it at the pump. Politics or good economic rebound?
When you have a currency that is doing a donko seesaw, one day it's at 12, the other day it comes to 10.5, the other day it goes to 13, then it comes back. It's the first time that we have seen that the secondary market, which is the black market, is like 2 cities away from what the Bank of Ghana is. Normally, it's within 1 city. It has never been the case where Bank of Ghana is doing the semantics they are doing to forcefully keep the dollar at a certain price, when in reality, we know that they are using a lot of resources to do that. That is what's accounting for this window, having the 5% reduction in PMS, which is gasoline, and I think 8% reduction in diesel. But it's temporarily. International prices, we are going into the winter, means that the margins on the international prices are much higher. If the government is able to keep the price where it is, then relatively we would basically have a no reduction in the subsequent windows or a reduction in the subsequent windows. But for me, the cost of what the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance is incurring, the cost, because already bear in mind we have $21 billion hole in the budget because of this currency situation of budgeting at a certain FX to CD and reducing it to a certain amount. And government is also a customer who has exports that they receive money in dollars and they have to bring it into cities to pay their obligations. And as a result, the Treasury, which is the Ministry of Finance, has a hole of $21 billion. The receivables from the ports Okay, bear in mind it's a reflection of the FX because you have to basically peg the goods imported to charge your taxes per the FX value. And since the FX value has been made low, it's also affecting the GRA receivables at the port. So they've not been able to meet the targets that they had to do. So yes, we are seeing a reduction in the pump from 1st of November as a result of the forceful, for me, I want to use the word forceful reduction of a currency to a certain price when we know that the realistic price of that currency is around 12.4, 12.5.
Okay, I was asking really because if you look at it, most of the projections that they've said, especially in conversations around the CD, will be that usually the last quarter of the year, the CD has a lot of pressure because of a lot of importation. And so I was quite fascinated when I saw that.
Okay, you see, that thing is a bit adage, it's old, because you know now our payments, we have a budget surplus.
Okay.
We no longer have a budget deficit.
Okay.
So what it means is that in value terms, we export more than we import. So when we have that end of year traders looking for a lot of money to import, the Bank of Ghana has enough reserves to import these, to give to the exporters.
Okay.
The problem that exists is that what the Bank of Ghana is saying and forcing people to do and the reality in the banks and on the ground are two different things. But look, at the end of the day, in Chi, we say that, in the meaning that in the long term, we will see what the impact will be. Because the traders who needs the money to import, if they can get it from the bank, then yes, they will get the Bank of Ghana rate. But if they can't get the dollar and it's 10.8 or 10.4, it's immaterial because he has to go to Abuchi to get the dollar and it's 12.5. So the reality on the ground is that though we are purporting that it's 10.8, in reality, when it's 6 o'clock, there's hunger.
Okay. Tanko.
When you vote for a good party in government, you enjoy the fruit of your labor. I told you, Abampapaba. Ghanaians are enjoying their fruit of their labor. The labor they put in voting for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He has put in, look, go to Bank of Ghana, a Minister of Finance. The collaboration is fantastic. If you look at the monetary aspect and the physical aspect, the collaboration is the results we are seeing. This is what we didn't get for 8 years. And we're suffering. Everybody was suffering. People died. People died. Grandfathers, grandmothers. One of your grandfathers was also part of the demonstrators. Went to finance ministry, demonstrate for their money. It's not true. If you want to mention their names, they were there. Have you ever seen that thing before? So don't pray for gloom for the economy, because we have people who understand this thing and they are doing it. We just celebrated the 60 year of
the city at 60.
60 years. Now look at the performance of the city. This tells you that people are doing something that we should begin to ask critical questions. So these people who are manning our economy for 8 years, were they sleeping on the job or what? Because within the shortest possible time, look at the inflows. And to the extent, now we are even going to get Christmas bonus. Can't you see? Zato is now going to fill his tank, all of them. That's why he didn't buy fuel, because he's waiting for the November 1st. They are waiting for the November 1st reduction. They will fill their tank. They are all enjoying it. See, that is what good governance is. It's all about to better the loss of your people. And I'm saying that.
How long can you keep this? How long can you keep this?
It will continue. They said we couldn't keep the dollar to the CD. Now we brought it back. We knew what we were doing. We have single-digit inflation now. That is no credit to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You don't have a vice president who is doing lectures all over the place.
We have an anonymous vice president. A completely anonymous vice president.
We'll hold on to Kojo's adage.
No, injunction. Let me also injunct him. I want to injunct him. Injunct me. I want to injunct him. It's okay. It's okay. Look, the point is the thing.
Okay, make the point.
The government of Ghana had made a purposive policy.
What purposive policy?
That they will intervene in the forex market to keep the dollar at a certain rate. That's a fact.
Where is it? Who told you that?
The Bank of Ghana told me that the IMF has said that.
No, I am saying that.
And even the president has said that. The president said that he's trying to look for a desirable place where the dollar can be. The IMF has said that the Bank of Ghana has said that they pumped in about almost $1 billion to do that. I have no problem with that.
So who pumped in $1 billion? Who told you? Where did you get the information?
So it's a government.
The amount you're quoting, though the IMF indicated that there was some pumping, the amount you're quoting is not quite accurate.
Okay, so there was pumping.
So where do you get
that pumping? Okay, good. So there was pumping. Now, the point is that now here's the case. So I have no problem with the government of Ghana making a purposive policy to intervene in the market to keep the dollar where it is. You're spending a lot of money now. I am a liberal conservative, center-right. I wouldn't have done that. I would let the forces of demand and supply deal with where the rate should be. But these are social democrats. And I think that's how you should have argued that based on your ideology and philosophy, you don't trust or have full belief.
But is that not public knowledge that a political party will take decisions based on their ideology?
Of course, and then
they won't have to re-announce it.
You would think so.
Okay.
Anyway,
and that's what we are doing.
It's a good thing they are doing. And so that is what they are doing, and that is how we are seeing this thing. The question I'm still being asked is it sustainable? Right now, cocoa prices are at record high. Gold prices are record high. So there's enough.
Cocoa is at record low.
Record low.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for that.
Cocoa is low.
Gold is record high. So what happens is that now the government has enough reserves to be able to sustain it. The question we should be asking then is about the sustainability.
So you're sharing in Kojo's adage.
If gold prices fall, government continue this. But for me, once it's a government policy, I respect that.
Nanayo, please wrap the conversation.
I would want to applaud Dr. Johnson Kwesi Asiama, the Bank of Ghana governor.
Who's you now?
Fantastic, man.
For doing a good job.
Not printing new currencies to store up the economy.
He's printed $4 billion.
Oh, please, can I have my time and
allow
my
him
submission?
It's no means the two of them.
So
they're always looking at me as the
people.
As I was saying, you see, when you have a leader who is able to propose very good policies and ensure its implementation, then you would see a marching forward. There have been accusations that there have been pumpings of monies and whatsoever. Yesterday, I drew a scenario. I said in every economy, we have what we call the first aid. Just like you fall ill in the house, you are given a first aid before the ambulance arrives. Then they take it out from there, then they take you to the hospital. So we would have the short term, we would have the medium term, and we would have the long term policy implementation. If pumping the money in and other short term policies would help deal with the problem we are facing, whilst we put in measures to build the medium term and shock absorbers to hold us into stability. And then we are able to look for solutions that will shoot us into the long term, what we call the growth and prosperity of our economy. Then we are doing something right. See, as it stands, we are almost in November. But I do not think that it is so much common in Ghana that in the month of November, October, November, you would find the forex, the rate, coming down. It is always on the rocket high. It means something is being done right. Whilst that thing is going on and helping us also rein down our inflation, what we should be projecting now is for us to be able to educate our traders that what is happening should reflect in our markets. I am happy that the aspects where government have some little control, like the fuel areas and other things, they are trying to pull some strings to keep them in line. The others where we do not have control, we should do more of public education to make them understand that indeed what we are doing, there are other measures to make it sustainable.
Well, okay.
I think, Doug,
time is already up.
Could you emphasize the fact that we are doing more of export? And so there is some
he draws some inferences in both the exports and imports. Maybe another time when you come.
Pushing in this value addition onto our raw materials, these are all medium and long-term solutions. But until then, something good is happening.
Well, Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on News Review today. I hope to have all of you again because we had other things. We have other things to talk
it's not
about.
reflecting in our pockets. When you go to the shop, you go to the market, things are still expensive.
Right. Kojo was so calm until we wanted to finish the But thank you, gentlemen, for joining. We're joined by Dr. Joshua Zato, political scientist. Nana Osapon is Deputy General Secretary, United Party. Kojo Poku is Executive Director, Institute for Energy Security, and member of the MP Communications team as well. And Rashid Tanko Computer, Chief Executive Officer, GFEC, and Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC. Gentlemen, thank you. There's so much on the show. Please stay. Welcome back to the show. This is the AM show. Thank you for staying. So I know that you may have heard a lot about insurance, but well, this month you're going to be hearing a lot better about brokering it. And so our friends from IBAC have joined us to tell us more about this awareness that they are embarking on. We'll get to know about IBAC if you've never heard about it. Insurance Brokers Association Ghana. We're going to get into that. And joining me in studio this morning is Schneider Boydu, member of IBAC, and she is also CEO of Hedge Risk Consult Limited. I'm also joined in studio by Hughes Razak, member of IBAC, Executive Director, Risk Management and Advisory Service Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in studio this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Okay. I was just telling you both that the only time I thought about a comprehensive insurance was when I bought a car that was so beautiful. In the past, I would never ever listen. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about IBAC.
Okay, so IBAC is a trade body of insurance brokers, reinsurance brokers, and then loss adjusters. IBAC was formed about 37 years ago with membership about 15. But now we have membership of almost 115 plus spread all over the country.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yes, and the key thing is to ensure that we bring our professionalism to bear when people buy insurance policies. We also realize that a lot of the insuring public don't really know what we stand for and what we do. And it is for this reason that every October, we dedicate the month specifically to propagate what we do to the insuring public.
Okay, stay with me a bit and give me your core mandate, your real mandate for IBAC. If I understand, this is a body that has other insurance companies all together as one. Is that what it is?
No.
No, okay.
So IBAC is a body of registered insurance brokers in good standing, loss adjusters as well. And so it has a membership of all broking firms that are licensed by the National Insurance Commission and are in good standing. And so we ensure that if you are using a broker or a member of IBAC to buy insurance for yourself, you are buying it through a professional who is liable to you, the person who needs the insurance, whereby the broker ensures that you are buying the right insurance that will cover your risk at the right premium and with the right terms and conditions for the policy. So we are independent intermediaries.
Okay.
Professional intermediaries. Unlike an agent who is tied to the insurance company and works for the insurance company, we don't work for any insurance company. We work on behalf of the client and ensure that you get the right.
So you have a special lens, Hughes, for you. You have a special lens to look into it to be sure that you're getting the best for,
Yes, and because this is what we have been doing for all these years. And like she mentioned, we are professionals that are well vested in terms of knowledge in policy, getting the right policy for you, the right policy terms, and also at the right premium, because of course you would also want to look at how much you're paying for a cover. And the insurance broker is the right person to go to for such. And I want to reiterate the fact that we are not agents. You know, an agent of an insurance company owes their allegiance, and because they are their employees, even if there's a claim, how far can you go with your employer? But for the broker who is independent and becomes your employee, you, the person using the service, becomes the employer of that broker. So everything that concerns the policy, your interests are guided by the broker.
Okay, so you have an angel working side by side if you want to go into insurance. But so this month, Schneider, you say that you've dedicated the month to create some awareness. This month, what's your theme?
Yes, so the broker, your gateway to insurance. Because a lot of people, we realize that a lot of people don't know about brokers. People think that you can just walk into an insurance company and buy your policy. And then sometimes when they do that and there's a problem, you know, it gives insurance kind of a bad name. So the insurance broker is your gateway. You need to buy your insurance through an insurance broker. He or she understands the policy wordings, the policy itself that you are getting into, and can explain better to you. You know, the insurance policy is a legal document. There are terms and conditions, do's and don'ts, the exceptions of the policy and all that. And we know that most Ghanaians don't even like to read. We have a busy life.
We do.
And so when you get the policy, you are just in a hurry to just pay and then go off. But when you have a broker knows the policy of it, understands it. And so if there are any hitches or anything that you need to know, they let you know from onset so that it is not at the point of claim that you get worried that, oh, I was supposed to know this, I was not supposed to do this, and I did it, and now my claim won't be paid.
Because you have mentioned claim, Hughes, tell me about some of the insurance claim repudiation. What causes that, especially third-party motor claims? What really causes that?
So just like she mentioned, it's a legal document, and everything that is stated there in terms of the legality of the policy you have bought is key at the point of claim. So one, you would want to be sure that the exclusions that are noted, you understand. It's not at the point of the claim that you would now be going through and say that, oh, I didn't know about all this. Of course, if you go in as an individual buying the policy, it's not your core area. You would lack understanding in that field. So the broker who would take you through it would be able to say that, look, this is an admissible claim. We have to go through ABC documentation, and we would get the claim paid. If there are issues with it, it is a broker who would also go through and explain to you if it is admissible or not.
Okay.
But in terms of documentation process, to the point that the claim is paid, is the broker that you have appointed responsibility to sort that out. So yes, there are instances where there could be repudiation issues with third-party claims. It could be maybe wrong description. It could be the fact that maybe the vehicle in particular, if it's vehicular third-party claim,
is it very common with the third-party claims or other claims as well?
Some claims, yes, but mainly because a chunk of the claims that we have are motor, yes, it tends to come up a lot. But there's also an opportunity for redress, assuming that there's even a situation where the cover is not properly arranged and then there are issues with predation. You can go even to the Insurance Commission for redress. That is if you did it on your own. But if it's with a broker, all those are limited. The broker would enable you go through this stress-free.
Okay. But Schneider, really, you can add to that.
Yes.
And whilst you're at it, my question really, do we need insurance? I know somebody's wondering, why are you asking this question? But do we really need insurance? When somebody approached me about life insurance for my father, I said, are you suggesting he's about to die soon? Funeral policy. I said, are you suggesting he's about to die soon? But you want to chip in that, right?
Yeah. You know, we have a lot of worries in life, plenty worries. And one could be what you just mentioned. So it's essential that we also look at the idea of insurance, because when you have an insurance cover, it actually gives you fewer worries. The worries that generally all of us have would go down. And if there is an unfortunate or inevitable situation where you would have financial stress, you have the assurance or guarantee that an insurance policy you have can come to your aid in terms of financial support. And that can alleviate some of the general issues that we have on the mind. You mentioned loss of a loved one. That person could be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Yes. So can you imagine what that lump sum through that death claim can do for the family, even if it will sustain them to an extent,
right,
it's good enough arrangement.
Okay, Schneider, I want to ask something?
Yes, so just to add to some of the things that cause the repudiation of claims and then third-party claims in general. Most Ghanaians think that if you have third-party insurance, you cannot claim at all. But third-party insurance, there are liabilities to the innocent third party. And so when you destroy somebody's property, when somebody gets injured, a passenger gets injured in your car, when you knock down a pedestrian, all those things are covered. But see, it gets back to people not knowing, because it's not up to you to accept liability. The police has to say, you caused this, or he caused it, the other party caused it. So when there's an accident, you need to report it to the police so that liability is stated clearly. But people don't know that. And if you don't have a broker, you just...
I tell you that we get insurance in this country because we don't want police to catch us.
Exactly.
Not because we're going to go after the claims.
But there are lots of benefits.
Now, listening to you, I'm just wondering, if a person already has a direct insurance with a company, or they are now going to want to maybe get insured, how can they get a broker on board?
So you can still appoint a broker, even if your policy is running or you are even yet to, you can still appoint a broker to handle it for you. And we are here representing IBAC, and we'll share our contact here, the IBAC contact here. We have a list of all the registered insurance brokers in the country, licensed to operate. So you can access their websites. I can give you the website. So we have www.ibac.org.gh, where we can have the list of all the licensed insurance brokers. And also we have these numbers to also call 0303 967 268 or 0303 967 269. You can also send a mail to info@ibac.org.gh.
Okay. Just to add to what he's saying, appointing a broker is as easy as ABC. All you need to do is to go to the website, choose the broker that you want, have a conversation with your broker, and then you just do a small letter to appoint the person as your broker.
So all of your members are on the website?
Yes.
Okay. And I can...
Those in good standing.
Those in good standing.
So you are guaranteed.
Okay. At least, beyond going to the website to check, if a person met me and they said that, well, I am part of IBAC, is there anything they can show for me to believe them? Because not a lot of people are happy to go to websites, right? Is there anything, what question can I ask them? How can I know? Or I have to take their word and take the pain to go to the website?
Okay, so you don't necessarily have to, it's not just by word. That is why, you know, the NIC, the regulator, publishes the brokers in good standing.
Okay.
And then also, once a year, we publish all the brokers in the newspapers so that you see them. But if you want to be sure, the website is your...
Okay.
Yeah.
And you tell us everything that you've done. If I take person, say Schneider, and they tell me all about Schneider, and then, so that I'm not swayed by just a smile. Okay.
So each company there has details, phone numbers, their websites, office location, so you can go there in person to meet. So let's say if you want to appoint Schneider, you would find
the company that
there.
Schneider works with. It's not that you see an individual on the website. That's
so you see the company there, and then there will be a contact person there that you can contact. So when you contact, you can come to the physical office then, or there's an email address as well. You can either send an email or call via phone.
Okay. Hughes, you want to reiterate the numbers again, 0303 967 268 or 69, but you can just go ahead and...
Okay. So the numbers again, 0303 967 268 and 0303 967 269. And the website again is www.ibac.org.gh. And you can also send an email to info@ibac.org.gh. But let me chip this in quickly. Sorry. So the insurance brokers cater for individuals and corporate entities as well. So it's anyone at all can access the services of an insurance broker. And the good news is that you don't pay anything.
Yes.
Yes.
I was tempted to ask all this plenty English. I hope it's not plenty manual. I'm glad that you brought that up.
It's our services are free.
So is it that after the claim you get a certain percentage or anything?
So our services come at no cost to you, the person who is buying the insurance.
Okay.
Because when the insurance policy, the premium is being calculated, already it's factored there. So it's the insurance company that pays us. You are not the person who pays us.
Okay.
So when you are doing insurance without using a broker, it's like you are paying for a service that you are not using.
You're just stressing yourself.
If you go directly, you are paying for a service that you are not using because already it's factored there so that you can understand your policy better. You can get better pricing. When you have a claim, easy peasy. From the beginning, from when the claim happens, exactly when the claim happens, you just call your broker and say, hey, somebody just knocked my car at this point. The broker tells you, okay, where are you exactly? Take pictures. Is there a police around? Report it. Get details of the other vehicle. We tell you what to do, what documents to bring. And so when you go, we carry on till you get your claim paid.
Snyder and Hughes, thank you so much. I hope that you watching, you have seen the lights. Just go on the website and take a read. Inform yourself at least so that you can benefit from insurance brokers as well in this country. But thank you so much for joining us in studio today to at least share. I see you want to say something?
That you use a broker so that we...
Today I will.
Yes.
I've been doing it directly.
We'll be waiting
I will.
for you
Thank
out
you.
there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Please stay with me this morning on the show. Welcome back. I'm excited about this one because I'm taking you all to my hometown. It's time for Hogbe Azalo, as I say. Well, this morning I'm joined by a member of Hogbe 2025 communications team, and he is Dr. Tunisia Muzu, senior law lecturer. You'd find him at Gempa Law School. Thank you so much, Doc, for joining us this morning.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
I like the attire. Well, let's talk about the history and the significance of Hogbe. A lot of people, including those even in the back that you have just seen, may have heard about Hogbe, but they do not know the history and the significance of it. Please let me in.
Hogbe is about the celebration of the life of Anglos, our history, where we have come from, the exodus from Ngochie. You will have heard that the Anglos, together with other Ewes, migrated as a result of being uncomfortable with the situation in which they found themselves at the time. And that discomfort is encapsulated in a piece of art, which is in a music form, which goes like this. Oh, no nyanyi no bikai. Oh, nyanyi no dikai. Go call yantone nyanyi no bikai. Tobie we nyaklovia o jelo.
What does it mean?
Yes, I'll tell you. So that song just says that, well, to use clay to manufacture a rope was not going to be for the Anglos. And that Togbi Wenya had taken his children away, and so Agokoli himself should use clay to manufacture his ropes, which he wanted. So it simply tells you that we were not going to allow anybody to terrorize us as Anglos. So we had to fight for our freedom. And Hogbe Chocho is a clear reminder of where we have come from. The fact that even if one of our own tries to subjugate us, tries to terrorize us, we were not going to allow it. So if you are somebody who is, coming from outside of our ethnic group, be sure that we will resist you.
Of course.
Exactly.
I can confirm this very much. But tell me about this year's theme.
Good. So the theme is building bridges from a common history to a common destiny, which is really inspiring, really important, because as you may very well be aware, Anglos belong to a big ethnic group called the Evers. The Evers. And if you look critically at Evers, we have a common identity, a common history, but we are also diverse. A lot. You know, you can speak about the Anglos who are celebrating our Hogbes, you know, this weekend. You can speak about the Asoglis, also as Ever. You can talk about the Tongus, and so forth. The Mafis, all of us are, you know. So what we are aiming at is we are stronger together. We will have to build bridges across generations, across intellect, across various facets of human endeavor. And together we forge a common front and hopefully build our homes together. So that's really the idea. But of course, it is not for us to stop at, you know, building bridges amongst us just as Evers, but also to extend it beyond our ethnic groups. So when Anglos build bridges with
can build it all the way to Ahanta.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, so November 1 was just around the corner. It's a grand debate.
Absolutely.
I will look forward to some specific performances, but I want to gist of it. I want people to come so they come and see.
Good.
But let me, you know, some of the performances or some of the things that will happen.
So you are absolutely correct. November 1 will be a spectacle to behold. I tell people that when you come, what you should be looking out for is Ghana's Most Beautiful. Okay, not Ghana's Most Beautiful as a pageant, but everything which will happen on November 1 will be a display of our rich culture, our apparel. You know, we have our own kete, like I'm wearing.
Yes.
Okay, which has its own unique color combinations and so forth. You will see all of that on display. Obviously, our food is there for you to taste, but the display on the debate ground, culture, you know, students, performances, and all that. And of course, Toby Stream will be sitting in state and receiving hosts. He will be playing host to the Akwamuhini.
Okay.
He will be a special guest of honor.
Okay.
The Ogwamahini is also expected to be in attendance.
Okay.
We are also expecting international visitors all the way from Nigeria. The Oni of Nigeria is also expected to be in attendance. So it will be
vegan. Yeah. So, but how you, because you talked about international front, how are you connecting or reconnecting with our people in the diaspora?
Yes, that's an important question to ask, particularly as you know, even in Nigeria, we have a huge population of Anglos there. So again, it fits in directly into the theme of this year's Hugbe, which is, you know, we build bridges. So there are programs designed to connect, you know, us to the diaspora, and these will be rolled out in the course of the year leading up to Hugbe 2026. Yep.
Well, but quickly, how would this festival contribute to tourism? I know that just talking about it, your outfit now, of course, somebody's watching, they definitely know the pictures behind me. That regalia, that beauty of it, especially on Saturday. How are you looking to put all of this, culminating it into the tourism agenda in this country?
Absolutely rich culture on display on Saturday. That's what we should expect. And so that alone, I think, it's something which should pull all of us to Angloga on Saturday. But beside that, you know that we are lucky to have, you know, a lot of tourist attractions in our part of the country. even the geographical location of our place alone is a sight to behold, okay? The place lies between the Gulf of Guinea and a very mighty lagoon, one of the biggest lagoons you can find. And people wonder, how do you survive? So you come and find out how huge populations of thousands of hundreds of people survive. It's not as tiny as people
I know.
To be. So you know, it is not just the beauty of the culture, but also, you know, the shore. We have one of the cleanest beaches you can find anywhere in the world.
Again,
okay?
I can confirm this.
And you can just lie on the shore and wake up and you won't struggle to clean the sand off your body. Why? Because of the quality of the sand that we have. You need to visit the Fort Princeton.
Okay.
Which has a very historical significance as far as our country and the slave trade is concerned.
Are you engaging the youth? Are they looking like they're interested in
Absolutely.
In this?
Hogbe has a huge space for the youth. So yesterday, for instance, was a day for the youth. The Hogbe is planned in such a way that you have a whole day dedicated to the youth to imbibe the culture into them, they display what they know, you correct, and all that, okay? So the youth are not left out at all. A lot of the work is actually driven by what is called the Anglo Youth Council.
Okay.
Yes, they play a huge role in what Hogbe is. But one important aspect of Hogbe, which I need to mention right now, is reconciliation and forgiving each other. Today is the day for Nubi Dodo. Okay. It's a critical part of the Hogbe story. So we know that in the course of the year, we may have offended each other. There may have been problems which we will want solved one way or the other. So today is dedicated for Nubi Dodo, which is reconciliation, but not just reconcile, but also make an effort to forgive whoever has wronged you.
We can go on and on and on, but I want to give them the reason to visit us. So please join us. Let's celebrate Hogbe Azalo.
As I say.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Well, the AM show is sponsored by Tanko Company Limited and Syntex Tank Ghana. Let's talk water tank. Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. Well, the Syntex tank is the tortoise tank. It has more that gives you the offer. If you want to put a lot of water, please buy the Syntex tank. But let me also tell you about Compu Ghana Cash Sales Festival. From October to December, shop your favorite brands: Samsung, LG, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Techno, Infinix, and more at any Compu Ghana showroom nationwide. Enjoy instant discounts, sweet cashback deals, and surprise gifts with every purchase. And that's not all. Your invoice automatically enters you into 3 massive raffles where you could win TVs, laptops, and phones, cash prizes. And yes, the ultimate prize, a brand new SUV. And every Friday, the fun goes next level with live exhibitions, FIFA gaming battles, free health checks, and loads of excitement. It's not just shopping, it's a whole festival vibe. So what are you waiting for? Bring the family, bring your friends, and let's make every Friday at Compu Ghana unforgettable. Shop, save, win big. Or shop online at www.computghana. Call them as well, 030-275-2020 or WhatsApp 0243-143-143 for details. And this promo is in partnership with the NLA under the Caritas Lottery platform. It's joy, rewards, and pure celebration all season long, only at Compu Ghana Cashback Sales Festival. And as well, I want to wish a happy birthday to Mrs. Lydia Amwa Esimedu, staff of UGMC Limited, wishing you a glorious year filled with laughter, good health, and favor in all of your endeavors. It is my prayer this year brings you peace and also blessing and multiply it in folds for you. And